So I've been getting more than a few comments that people want me to react more to the Caddicarus videos. Because I haven't watched all of them, so I've reacted to a couple already. So I figured, why not just continue watching the older ones that I haven't watched, and we'll just chill and react to them. Yeah, this is a long one. This is a long one. Yeah, the legendary world of Spyro games. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Get your popcorn. Get ready. If you need a bathroom break, now's the time. You have 2 seconds. 1, 2. All right, let's go.
This video has been sponsored by your mum.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim. I'm Jim. No, you're not. You're right. I'm sorry. It's okay. We all make mistakes. Like that one time I set fire to that school. Yeah, I know. I thought it was a wasp's nest. I've got some news for you. Oh, yeah? Don't care. No, I really think you need to hear this news. Shut up! You're a news. Oh, come on. Stop being such a baby. It'll only take 5 seconds, I promise. I want Cumpy. Excuse me? Cumpy. I want Cumpy. I swear to God I'm gonna go. Give me Cumpy! Okay, fine. You want Cumpy? I'll go and get you your damn Cumpy. What is it with you and your Cumpy? There. Here you go. There's your Cumpy. You happy now? Yes. I've had enough. I'm off.
Thank
you for Cumpy. You're not welcome.
Not the smack
by the way, you just hit 1 million subscribers, so, yeah. Oh my God!
I'm over here. Look over here.
Oh!
So yeah, you know, I
It's the Cumpy, Phoenix. It's the Cumpy.
Guys, I just hit 1 million subscribers.
$1 million subscribers.
What the
hell
fuck?
is that about? Thank you so much, everyone. But also, what the hell is wrong with you? That is a number that I never thought I would ever reach in my lifetime on YouTube, and it's a bit too special to not dedicate a full video towards celebrating. But what shall I do a video
Yeah, that dude
on?
was powering
It's gotta
up
be
for something.
important. It's got to be grand. It's got to say, I've reached 1 million subscribers. What should it be? I've already made the video and I don't know. So I will go to America right now and ask all of my friends.
Oh no. Damn, that's some fancy seats you got going on. Oh God.
Right guys, for this video, I want to cover every single Spyro game known to existence on every portable and main console. Is that a good idea?
They're like, no, we don't. I'm the completionist.
Oh no, look who it is. It's him. It's Simon the Door. Yes, of course I was going to talk about Spyro when I hit 1 million subs. I've only been promising that since your Labrador was born. It's dead now.
What?
There is a reason I've avoided everything to do with
Not
Spyro
the
up until
puppy.
now, though, because he's easily the most requested thing I've ever had to talk about on my channel.
That's more
ever
than
since
I
started
recognize,
it. So for the
Yuko.
sake of
I'm so
saving it for
bad.
something special, I always told myself, not yet, Purple Prince. I'll save you for 1 million. So come on, you blokes, let's get him out! Spyro, it's finally time! Save money on my mum's hip replacement. And let's be honest, everybody loves Spyro. That's why he was so requested. Who doesn't love him? You do, don't you, Izzy?
Jesus.
Exactly. The thing is, though, I don't want to get too overexcited. There's a lot of
Actually, I have
Spyro
a
games out there that I could make multiple
video director
videos
I've been
about.
saving. Well,
We're far beyond the days of
send it in
2012
Discord,
and
might
me
do it
only
later.
covering the first 3 games for
Might not be this stream though.
No, I'm gone. So for this special, I am going to stick to the main console games and the main portable games, go through each and every one of them
recognize that sweater.
chronologically, and then show you why Spyro games make me wood.
You have that exact same dragon skeleton, Phoenix? Did it also smell like a dead body like it did in here?
Part 1. Purple is gay. Right, so first off, no matter if you like Spyro or hate his guts, you cannot deny the iconic status of this box art. This color scheme,
unless
this
it's
art
like
style, it's so PlayStation.
below
it is
freezing,
perfect. I wouldn't change a
like
thing about
icicles forming on my
Why is that there?
face,
The story of Spyro
kind of
1 is that
freezing.
the press have gone over to the Dragon Realms
It's hard
to
for me
interview
to wear
the
like
dragons about a wretched
heavy-duty
old
sweaters
boil
and
known as
shit.
Nasty Nork, and they decide to make fun of him on live TV.
Besides, he is ugly.
Got a real Kanye West over it. Now, how did Nasty hear that savage diss all the way from his house? Well, you have to remember, this was way back in the 90s, and everybody thought TVs worked like telephones. Don't forget, TVs had only been around for 70 years. Because of that, Nasty Nork casts a crystallizing spell on every dragon in the kingdom, except for Spyro, because...
Awakened a lot of skellies, oh
luckily
my
for us,
god.
though, Spyro is purple, and purple is a sick color. Everything purple kicks ass, which means Spyro runs off to kick ass, which means the game itself would inevitably kick ass. Except his voice. That doesn't really kick anything aside from my face.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Is it because of his color? Did they give him a chain-smoking teenager's voice because no one would think he was cool for being
Chain-smoking
purple? That's
teenager.
outrageous. Some of the best things in life are purple, like bruises and ringworm.
Destiny.
Not the
I just wanna
ringworm.
kick some.
Just toast those enemies and collect the treasure.
See, kids? Spyro is cool. He nearly said bottom. In Simon 1, you skip around luscious open environments unless the game stops you with the big shapes. Smashing all of your nan's
big
china with your
shapes.
head, gliding from
Fucking
island to
invisible
island, setting
walls,
sheep on
y'all.
fire, occasionally fighting a boss, cracking open old men.
Run! Run!
They drove me nuts back then, they drive me nuts now.
Eventually run off to Nasty's lair to spit roast him. That Nasty Nork is toast.
Yeah, he is.
It's toast, bruh. It's totally toast.
And honestly, that's kind of it. This is a fairly standard collectathon platformer from the time. Find as many gems, dragon eggs, and crystallized perverts as possible in order to unlock more hub worlds to find as many gems, dragon eggs, and crystallized perverts as possible. But Simon does have some tricks up his sleeve to stick out above your Banjo-Kazooies and your Super Martins.
Let's go, Yahoo!
In case you didn't notice, Spyro is a dragon, and that means he has 5 unique things that make the game work entirely on their own. 1. Dangly skin. Simon not only jumps like every other knobhead, but by hitting jump again can use the loose parts of his back to glide long distances all the way
Dangly
to
skin is
Scotland.
the
This
wings?
isn't only an extremely fun and liberating thing to do in every Spyro game, but allows the level design to focus not just on horizontal flat landscapes. Now you can have giant, sprawling, and tall levels based on verticality. You see that glimmering secret pile of treasure far out there? Well, if you get yourself high enough somewhere else in that level, and not from a weed, you may be able to reach it. It's not even a case of you finding the one single place to cross that one single gap, turning the glide function into a situational invisible bridge either. You can glide off of any surface in any direction, which means the designers can hide more secrets in more creative places and gives you a breathtaking sense of freedom and adventure in each level, which can also be tense as hell. Whenever I'm about to make a risky looking glide, I always have this inner fear of, oh my god, I want that stuff over there, but is my glide going to be high enough to reach it? Well, I guess there's only one way to find out, so here I go. But once I'm gone, I'm committed, so I have to be confident. Oh god,
God,
I'm gonna
the
make it.
anxiety
Oh, God,
when
Simon, I'm
it-
gonna die. I'm so sorry, Simon. This is my fault. Flying slowly towards your
Simon.
confident. You're seeing it happen right in front of your eyes, but are powerless to do anything. Oh no, please don't look at me, Simon. I'm sorry. Please stop making me own my guilt.
Like, it's for real though. Like, the actual the actual anxiety I would get from this shit, I'd be like, fuck. And if it happens enough times, like in a small amount of time, like it brought that rage where you threw the controller, weren't sure if you broke it or not, it didn't care. Fucking sake. Can't do that no more now. Can't afford that shit.
Please stop looking at me. 2. Bad breath. Instead
Wonder
of any
if the
clumsy
Skylanders series
jumps or
gonna come out.
precise
Oh, no,
melee
hours.
attacks, Simon
It-
uses a
this
wide,
video's like
close-range fire
over
breath
2
attack
hours
to
long,
kill
so
the enemy Norks
you
or
never
break
know.
open baskets for gems. Not only a really fun thing to do, but it looks cool, leaves little black ashes behind, and basically guarantees a hit if you're facing the general direction of the breath, since it has such a wide girth. 3. The horn. Simon can use his horns for even more utility than the flame breath. It can break metal vases and baskets,
Insert
attack basic
horny
norks,
joke
no
here.
problem, and gives you a speed boost, which makes basic running around much more thrilling and quick when you need to get a move on with your little buff. 4. Whirlwinds. If you jump into a whirlwind, the camera moves downwards and lets you look right up Spyro's 5. Small thing
Not
that isn't
that.
a dragon and has nothing to do with dragons at all. That wispy little skinny lemon is Sparks the Dragonfly, and he is your health bar somehow. Yellow means you've got 4 hits left, blue is 3 hits left, green is 2 hits left, gone is 1 hit left, and then you keep yourself healthy by murdering smaller creatures that have no ways of fighting back, just like in real life. But
Oh,
honestly,
no,
I
not
couldn't
the
care less
kitty.
about health points. I
Not
just
the
want
kitty
Sparks to look
cat.
yellow as often as possible, because blue and yellow look like spoiled cheese. I don't want Sparks to look ill, so I give him as many butterflies as possible. I will even go all the way back to the beginning of an empty level to top him up if I have to. No small animal is too far away for me to gut. In fact, we do it just for fun in our spare time, don't we, Scott?
What?
Haha! You can say that again. But here's where things get interesting. On their own, the moves that Spyro can pull off are pretty sweet. But when you mix them together, whoa. You get big enemies that can only be flamed and armored enemies that can only be charged with your horns. Then you get enemies that are too big to charge but also armored from your flame, so a new weakness needs to be discovered. You get collectible dragon eggs that are stolen by thieves that are too quick to be flamed.
God,
so
I
they
hate-
charge
oh my
towards all
fucking
over the
God.
level while they go.
I fucking hate those fuckers. I fucking hate those fuckers. Oh, the instant rage. Those goddamn assholes appear on my screen when I play this game.
This noise triggers my stomach acids. You get supercharged
Same.
panels on the floor to make your charge get faster and faster the more time you spend on the panels, and the more time you spend on the panels, the further your jump and glide becomes. And it's because of that example in particular why I love levels like Treetops, because once you get going, it's like... Yeah, most people hate it. But you're all morons. Sure, it takes me a few attempts to remember the routes, and I die a few times every time I come back to it after a while, but the satisfaction of finding the correct starting point of a supercharge panel, jumping over to another island to keep gaining speed on another supercharge panel, and then making that one final gigantic glide over to the hardest to reach area of the whole game is ingenious and incredible to get right. The game isn't full of stuff like this, but when it is, it nails it and makes me go... I even like the little
Oh,
balance things
God.
going on with how you control Spyro, like flame breathing, for example, being an easier and safer attack to do against baskets and enemies, but the trade-off for that is that everything is slower and the gems that drop from them float up into the air and fall loose. But if you try and go for a risky charge attack as much as possible, you'll find it's not only faster, but then the gems will follow immediately after you once you break the basket or kill the enemy. I even love how you can charge different barrels towards the end of the game to attack the... Then you get those one-off bonus levels for each world that turns the game into a free-flying time trial of destruction. These will be known from now on as speedways. Why can't Simon fly all over the place whenever he wants at any other point in the game?
Because you ask too many questions.
Actually, it's most likely because whenever he does fly on his own, he can get... This is the
Lovely.
reason people still love the original Spyro PS1 series even until today. It's the fine mix of all of these moves to make the series a blast to play, with a couple of extra references to other games for good measure.
I always believed in you, Spyro.
You gotta believe.
Time to get romantic.
I
The
believe.
charm of the world around you is off the
Believe.
charts too, and there's so much detail put into the tiniest things. If you charge into a bull instead of flaming it, it'll get stuck in the ground by its horns. If you move up a steep hill, Simon's walk cycle changes. Set fire to cacti and watch them shake the ashes off. Watch enemies capture smaller creatures and then get too distracted celebrating to attack you. See how terrified enemies look as you walk towards them, but once you look away from them, they... Oh. Oh.
I remember that. Not the. Oh my god. Oh.
Seriously though, there are Norks everywhere, and nearly every single
Fuck's
level gives you a
sake.
different variant of them, which the game really didn't need to do. There's Norks with swords, Norks with clubs, Norks
Does
with
that
flags,
excite y'all?
Norks with tasers,
That
Norks with guns,
Badass.
Norks with guns. Easy does it, I'm too small and I can't reach that. Also, I'm British. Which means you probably hate me, but it also means that I love saying the word Norks. The hills have Norks, the castles have Norks, the harbours have Norks, the fairies have Norks. You know what's sad as well? In the Reignited Trilogy remake, they got rid of the Norks with guns and replaced them with purple water pistols.
Wow, Phoenix, you actually have a limit?
What? You don't like seeing guns in
polyass?
your video games? What are you? A cuckwoke? And hey, I may really dislike Spyro's voice in this game, but the other dragons you rescue are another thing entirely.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
How about you get far? I love all of these guys. They're only ever on screen for like 5 seconds each, but they're the most memorable part of the game for me.
Ever since you're a wee puff of smoke,
You want that? You want that ass to be
They
4K
mostly serve as
quality,
hints and tips when
high
you find them, even
definition.
though the hints are all horrible.
Big enemies like this Gnorc with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should defeat them.
Yes, I already killed that guy to rescue you. What are you talking about?
Did you know that you get your longest glides by pressing X at the very top of your jump?
How do you think I got here?
flame won't harm metal, but charging with your horns, that should do the trick.
This is World 2. I've been doing this
Yeah,
for the
these-
last 6 levels. Are you
These,
senile?
these fuckers over here giving advice like people in real life, well, especially the older generation, telling you shit you already know, like it's brand new information. Like you haven't already either done whatever advice they gave you or already have been taught it. Oh my god, it's so stupid.
Be careful, Spyro. This boss has many tricks up his sleeve.
What does that mean?
Some big Gnorcs up ahead are wearing armor.
I don't blame them. They're very sensitive. The best line in the entire
Try
game,
turning it
though,
off and then
easily
I'll
goes
back
to
on against
Cletus.
Spyro.
My man Cletus. What does he say?
Spyro, it's great to see you, but I've got to go.
All right. Bye then. You know what all of the dragons' favorite thing is to say, though?
Thank you for releasing
When
me.
someone
I
says they gotta
swear
go,
that
they
most
literally
of
just
these
leave.
Smelly lizards say this line on repeat, and by the end of the game, nearly every single one of them says it. You want to see how many I found?
Thank you for releasing me.
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 Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me.
But don't worry, not all of them say thank you. Some of them say thanks.
Thanks for releasing me.
Shame though that as a
Variety.
game itself, Spyro 1 is just alright. Welcome to my
Phoenix,
Arabian
no.
toilet.
Yeah, despite my accolades, I actually don't think Spyro 1 is that great, mainly because of how primitive and stripped back it feels, especially compared to the sequels, which isn't Spyro 1's fault, but I'm blaming him anyway. And I don't care what you say, because I'm friends with the super popular YouTuber Vsauce too, aren't I, Kevin?
You may kiss the bride.
Hey, Jim!
See, he even calls me by my real name, like my mummy when she's upset with me. You know, it's weird. It always surprises me when I remember that the first Spyro came out in 1998. This wasn't an early PlayStation title, and yet I think it feels like one. There's just
No, oh, I
something
hated
missing.
that.
I can't explain
Just-
it. There's no
just
gimmicks,
right
no
there.
major surprises.
So
I mean,
close.
I do love simplicity and games that are to the point, but with cartoony collectathon Johnny John Spyro the Johnson, the simplicity holds it back for me. Especially when you compare it to the following games, Spyro 1 feels really plain, just like how Crash 1 feels compared
Yes,
to Crash
Phoenix,
2.
that was-
and by
that was-
1998, Crash 3 had already perfected the Crash formula.
The grossest
whereas
part
Spyro
about
was just
that,
getting
yeah.
his feet wet.
A clear
And when
shipper.
Spyro gets his feet wet, he dies. The collectathon gameplay loop is pretty basic, and it gets a bit samey for me after World 2, with not much variety in what you actually do, aside from more dangerous glides and slightly different enemies. And for as much as I love the visual style, the presentation itself also gets a little bit too samey for me. Aside from that hole, these things can get royally shitted off too. What are these things? Why do they look like that? How do they slide around so quickly? Get off me,
right.
you radish! No matter how many times I replay this game, I can never remember the names of levels or tell them apart by screenshots. They just don't leave much of a lasting impact on me. I don't think there's anything entertaining or that endearing about the characters and story. Spyro's voice
I think I smell a barbecue.
makes me want to shit down a chimney. The sound effects feel really wet and sloppy without much impact or crunch. The charge controls are pretty damn loose and slippery. The charging jump height is shorter than a stand for a toddler trying to reach a sink. The glide can sometimes feel really heavy that doesn't always make its target even
Oh
when
my
you feel
God,
like it
Phoenix.
should. And then there's all the little things that add up over the course of the game. You hit these and then jump over them to get the gems. Why? It's awkward. If you miss it, you just do it again. Waste of time. These things you breathe fire on over and over again until they pop. Pointless. Why am I doing this? Waste of time. This rolling mechanic? Useless. I only find it handy on these single dog enemies on this single level because everything chases you down anyway, even if you rolled. Waste of buttons.
Then you have the soundtrack, composed by one of my favorite drummers of all time, Stuart Copeland. It's a soundtrack beloved by basically everyone. And I think it's...
Uh-oh. Well,
My God.
Yes, it's that Stuart Copeland, the drummer
cat.
from the all-time
What?
classic rock band, The Policeman. And look, I don't hate the music. It's good music. In fact, it's one of Barry Kramer's favorites, and he's going to play a little bit of it for us right now.
What? Take it away!
But I don't get the undying love for this game's soundtrack in particular. I think it's way too spacious and meandering for the kind of game that this is. And if you tied a rope around my neck and asked me to match which songs go with what levels or else you'll hang me, I'd say, I don't know.
well.
But then I'd say that anyway because I don't mind this. Don't get me wrong though, when the
Oh my
visuals and music come together into a gourmet, creamy cereal, it's downright incredible. Now with added hair. My go-to example
with
being
added
Dark
hair.
Hollow in
Oh.
World 1. But as a whole, I just don't dig the soundtrack that much. It's well constructed, it's well performed, and there are some great tracks here. I just can't remember most of it, and I don't think it matches the gameplay that well. And these bosses, these absolute garbage fire F-tier bosses, very stinky. These are the worst parts of the game for me. They
Very
aren't
stinky.
bosses, they're regular levels that are really small with slightly stronger enemies that I wouldn't let near a school. First boss,
Oh my
Toasty. He's a
God.
scarecrow that is actually a sheep on
My.
stilts. Hit him 3 times, he does nothing. These regular
The little
dog enemies are more
flashy
dangerous
flash.
than him. Second boss, Dr. Shemp. Hit his back after jumping over like 2 attacks. Third boss, Blowhard. More like blow chunks. Fourth boss, Metalhead. Charge into metal poles that aren't electrified.
Blowhard.
You win. Boss 5, Jacques. Do some
I've
platforming
forgotten
and
so
then
much
question why
about
the
these
hell he has
games.
a regular French name. Final boss, Nasty Nork, is sadly just as easy to kill as any other regular Nork. You chase him, he does nothing, you win. When the edge of the walkway is more threatening than the final boss, you know you've ballsed it. At least you got a pretty sweet reward for 100% in the game though. You get access to Nasty's loot. The only actual free-flying level where you just explore everywhere, blow up everything, and steal all of his treasure. Thanks for the stimulus check, Nasty Breast. Then the credits roll. Ah, nostalgia. You know, even though this isn't my favorite Spyro game and I do have problems with it, I do like it a lot still to this day. I enjoy this game, and every time I reach this credit sequence and hear this music and watch all the low poly flyby level camera stuff going on, it lets me know that I made a good choice in picking up this game to replay it again. No sheep were harmed during the creation of this game. No, you're lying. You cooked them up and you sent them to...
Oh my
is a
god, why is it
classic, no
flashing
doubt.
like that? What the
But
fuck?
at the end of the day, even though I've got a lot of nostalgia for it, this is not the game that I replay whenever I feel like a bit of him. It's better than Crash 1 for a first attempt, but it still feels like a first attempt.
You're a first attempt. Oh no. Who is that?
I'm the amazing Wendigo. The amazing Wendigo? No. Where?
Look, they made another Spyro game.
Now this is where shit starts getting good.
Thank you, the amazing
Where'd he go?
Oh, fuck! Yes, you lads, it's Spyro 2. He's back, and
Where'd
I'm
it go?
back.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Look alive, everyone. It's Simon 2, Ripped My Ropes. Or as I personally know it,
what?
Simon 2, Great. A garden. To be honest, I prefer the European name of Gateway to Glimmer against Ripto's Rage, but I will admit it is strange.
I don't
Glimmer is
think
just
he's
the first level of the
reading these
game. You're
right.
never looking for a gateway to it. That'd be like if this was called Crash Bandicoot Sand. Straight away, we've got much better
Sand.
cutscenes with actual story in them, and boom,
Crash
bang, bing,
Sand
we've got new
Bandicoot.
characters who are better than anything we saw in Spyro 1. You've got the Professor, who's a bastard mole, digging up all of my lawn! You've got Laura, who's a
Get off
fawn,
my
you dork!
God!
And Hunter the cheetah who always looks like he wipes with his fingers. Even Simon's voice is improved.
Is this rain ever gonna stop? I've forgotten what the sun looks like.
If you don't know, that is the voice of Tom Kenny. And if you don't know who that is, I'll give you a hint.
Now they've set up force fields to separate us. If you can
All the
find
drugs
diodes,
you
you
can-
can use
all
them to
the
turn
drugs.
off the force fields.
One thing though, why, only in the cutscenes, does it sound like the voice actors are spitting into the mics?
That's exactly the point. A dragon is our only chance of stopping Ripto.
Betty Botter bought some better butter, better than the bitter butter, so she put it in her bitter batter. Oh,
Yeah,
there's
they
also
had
the new
those
baddie,
mics real
Ripto,
close
who is
and
very
no
small and angry, and
pop
that's
filter.
basically all there is to him. I never really understood the love for him as a villain, I'm sorry. And these three bozos accidentally summoned
When
him
you
to their
phone in
world,
the
so
voice actor.
intercepted Spyro on the way to his holiday. Oh, sorry.
Vacation.
Yeah, your best friends in this game kidnap you and hold your holiday hostage until you fix their big messy. Thanks so much, you woman. Donkey. Spyro 2 as a game, though, is basically Spyro 1 again, but everything is better. Literally everything. It's like jumping from Crash 1 to Crash 2, or pre-vomit to post-vomit. And I'm far from the only person that thinks that, right, Dradex?
Because I hate Spyro 2, and Spyro 3 is somehow even worse.
Yeah, you're right. There's just so many quality of life changes here, it's not even funny, and it all comes together perfectly to make me go. The glide falls a little bit slower to make long jumps easier, the charge control's a lot tighter and lets you jump higher while charging to make rushing around levels twice as easy. Sparks the Dragonfly picks up gems from further away, he eats butterflies from burned animals much faster than Spyro 1, the camera moves around you a bit faster, the sound effects are guttier and have more punch to them. And on top of the updates to existing ideas, there's all of the new stuff added in too, like auto-saving, which was a massive deal, because back in those days, we didn't have it. Instead of the stop immediately and splat on the floor triangle move you could do mid-glide
When
in Simon 1,
auto-saving is a
now
new
you have
concept.
a hover move to give you extra time to correct a glide and give you a tad more height and distance at the end of your glide. Now, instead of getting extra lives from the life clam, while Sparks is at full health, you can stack him with multiple burned animals to eventually give you a life if you eat enough. Spyro can spit. Enemies now don't drop gems to collect and instead add to a defeated enemy tally that can help you unlock a temporary power-up specific to that level, giving you way more chances for supercharging alongside brand new powers like spring jumping, projectile super breath attacks, and temporary flight in the level. And speaking of levels, you now only need to collect one thing at the end of the stage to beat it, with optional missions dotted around each level awarding you orbs that can be used to unlock further levels,
I don't
bosses,
remember
and
any of
secrets.
this.
And they can
I don't know if I
sometimes be
played
centered
this one.
around the platforming that Spyro does best, or something totally new and different like hockey matches against this freak, various puzzles hidden around the stage, or blowing up a load of UFOs piloted by... And to top it all off, when you collect everything, you get a little dote! The speedway stages return and are exactly the same as previously. Okay, that wasn't new. I'm sorry. I don't know why I
Yeah, but
mentioned it.
didn't
Now,
beat it.
after you beat the main time travel challenge,
Yeah, I
you can
can't
then
remember
freely
any of this.
explore
I don't
the
think I
speedway
ever
level
played it.
without a time limit to find secret hidden characters to talk to that then give you more unique orb missions that change up the gameplay even more. And then you can end your day by being a flag-burning, filthy hippie. Yeah, down with vegetables. Oh yeah, there's also way more cutscenes now too. Some for entertaining story bits, and others for whenever you enter and exit a new level, just to give them that extra dash of personality
Hugo,
and
I
depth
just
to
now
them.
saw-
I like them. You see what the problems are
I
in
just
the
now
level
saw
before
what you
get there,
posted
help them
for
out,
the
then you
Hideo
fix the
Kojima after
problem and see
leaving
what happens
Konami
after
thing.
you leave the level. It's like mini stories within the main story. It's really cute. But as a kid, I hated the Aquaria Towers one. Poor little seahorse dying from lack of water and being baited over and over again for a drink he never gets. Just give him the damn water, you wretch! This isn't Saw 3! What's cool though is that every level has inhabitants to talk to now, and they're
Yeah, he's gonna
nearly
need a
all
bigger
fully
cut
voice
now
acted.
because them
The
tears
only
are
other
gonna
thing
be
you could interact
streaming
with in
again.
Simon 1 was the balloonist, and sorry man, not only did you not actually speak, but you were only ever good for being a stepladder. Even the fairy checkpoint talks to you now. She's called Zoe, and she likes to pitch shift her voice at random.
That zap means that if you get into trouble, I'll return you to this place.
Each time you defeat an enemy, it will release a spirit particle.
What's up with you, Zoe? Have you got a bad cough?
The water workers have boxed up most of our baby turtles. The boxes are incredibly strong.
Oh no, what are we going to do, Gromit? But then there's another character introduced in this game that would go on to become a Spyro staple. A character that dredges up the worst of a human being. A character that inspires fear, hatred, spite. Bags.
Hello there, Spyro. Would you like to learn to swim underwater? I suppose I could teach you for...
Fuck!
Moneybags is a round bell end, seems to exist everywhere, all at once on every level, and only lives for one thing: locking things away from you and stealing your gems in order to unlock them for you. That's all he is. He's a fat, greedy barrier that has no conscience, no dignity, and only cares about money. Must be funty. In a rich man's cunt. He is a leech, a stain. He's an alt-right Winnie the Pooh that converted a generation of kids into anti-capitalists. And to be perfectly frank, he makes me want to get my killing shoes on.
Oh my god.
What a sweet relief.
I just imagine if you're like a neighbor or someone passing by and you just randomly see this shit being filmed. Oh my god. Oh fuck.
In fact, I don't even think that any furries like him. Let's ask one. Oi, Adam!
Alright, E621, Spyro _the _dragon, space order, score, enter. What?
See, it doesn't do anything for it. Oh, what's that? You want to sell me a trip on a submarine to get by a load of robot sharks? Pff, I don't need any of that.
They did name this character right, though.
See, I don't need
literally just called Moneybags.
Oh, look at you there, Moneybags. Are you a little cold from the snow? Oh, no, wait. It's just your soul. My favorite thing to do with him is actually use a double
weird
jump
neighbor kid
glitch
is
in
at it
level 1
again.
to not only completely ignore him and his stupid bridge, but also use the same glitch to get on top of a ledge that I'd also need to pay him later on in the game to learn how to climb, and then finish off the rest of the level without paying him a cent, meaning that I can then afford his swimming lessons right after level 1 without needing to go into another level first to try and save up enough. This has been a money-saving tip with Daddy Caddy. Next week, we'll find out how to stop yourself from spending your own money by learning how to keep pennies in your ass. The levels are bigger and give you way more stuff to do and leave a longer-lasting impression, but they aren't so big as to make you go, oh no, I can't eat that. And the music is miles better as well. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it sucks. Milkshake through a big straw. It's way more creative, zesty, multi-instrumental, and more percussive. There's even vocals on some of the tracks, my favorites being the one that sounds like a meditating Mr. Bean. And the one where it sounds like a really big man just ate something he didn't like. When there's all the little monk dudes with their mouths that look like urinals and they go...
Now I just want
me, though, the awards
I just want like someone to mod his face into all these games, all the Spyro games, on all the characters, and him making the face and mouth movements for every scene. I need it now.
The best line in the game easily goes to,
even though I'm a vegetarian, I think you should kill that Yeti.
He's so hardcore about killing an animal that he even goes off script.
Kill!
Oh, by the way, I have a theory about this game that I don't think anybody has ever brought forward before. Hunter is Ripto.
And no, I don't mean just because of their exact same size. Other characters in the game are all like,
can you help me tie my shoelaces?
And then you help them and they reward you. But Hunter, he deliberately bricks himself in igloos and hides orbs from you until you nearly kill yourself on a jet ski parachute. He won't give you 2 orbs that you desperately need to save the world unless you run around in a sub-zero cave catching crystals to amuse him. He won't give you the items that you need to defeat the man that he summoned himself until you jump on his captured manta ray and follow a seahorse through a bubble of fart. He plays dumb, but he's not dumb. He has like half of the orbs you already need in his pockets and just doesn't give them to you because Lamau. And have you ever noticed how you never see them together on the same screen? He's the bad guy here. He is Ripto. I also love the way that so many characters have that low poly PS1 over-exaggerated head and mouth shape too. They all look like talking drum cymbals. Hi Hunter, I'm Spyro and I want to burn all of your incriminating documents. There's even this one level where you run around and find all of the bones of a skeleton to put him back together.
Again, the neighbor's just shaking their head.
It's so good to see my friend looking healthy again.
Does he? Oh no, what does that mean? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, that's right. Them fucking moves. Yeah. Shake them bones.
Yes, I had to sit through the whole thing, so you had to as well. Now, let's move on to...
I think he wants to dance for you.
Oh, no. Oh, hello.
My favorite part of the whole game, though, is when you get to World 2, Autumn Plains, and find this level called Zeph, where there are all these slugs on the ground in the middle of a civil war with these birds from the sky, and you help out the slugs by destroying the birds'
I start off alright, then at the end I go... Corporal Glug.
Wow! What an explosion!
My disc is a little scratched, but then immediately after that is another level called Breezy Windpipe, where you go to the homeland of the birds in that same war, and then you help them get their airship running again so they're able to counterattack, ensuring that the war can rage on for many years to come. Spyro is indifferent to global relations. He is a war profiteer. I love Zephyr anyway, because there are these baby birds that spit ammunition from mother birds, dropping it from the sky into their mouths, and when they don't have anything, they're like, Mummy, I'm hungry, feed me, Mummy. Oh, you're hungry, are you? Yeah, well, I've got your mummy right here, you little scab. Then there's a bit where there's a slug named Romeo and a bird named Juliet in a tragic star-crossed love on the battlefield, and you need to reunite them in this extremely fun magic seed platforming puzzle, where different platforms grow in different soil, and when you want the seed back, the soil clenches like a bumhole, and after solving the puzzle, Juliet sounds like this.
Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Oh, there's Romeo.
There's just so many fantastic moments.
It's about how the school plays usually ended up sounding.
Back by trading an egg with a nest that spits out a seed to go into a plant pot that spits out a rubber duck that goes with a duck family to give you a turnip. What? Okay. Which then needs to go into a cauldron which spits out a coin that goes into a water fountain that gives you a very soggy pencil. It's so good, man. And how about the secret agent that sounds like, I'm a secret agent. And when he's looking around to make sure you aren't following him, he does... He does that. That is how I'm looking around for things for the rest of my life. And the robots in Metropolis, they're adorable. Listen to them.
These elevators need serious work, see?
Even the bosses are an improvement. There's only 3 this time, but it doesn't matter because they all make up for the wet jokes that were in Spyro 1. They actually have attacks. They're fun fights, and in Gulp's case, even a little bit challenging. This is one of the better bosses in the whole Spyro series, actually.
As great as Simon 2 is, though, I don't think it's perfect. In fact, there's a couple of major real low points for me. This is way too hot. I'm pushing up roses can name like 50 of them, can't you?
Oh, Spyro.
No!
The mission in Rhynocs where you have to put lightning stones into power generators and then have to defeat the thieves that keep removing them and throwing them around the level. I mean, look, I'm very glad that I finally get some representation. But man, does this take forever. It isn't difficult, just immeasurably boring. This part here where you need to flame fish into this angry Tiki's mouth, I can't stand this bit. You need to get 10 fish in his mouth, and any red fish reset the counter by like 1 million fish. But by the time you see the yellow ones and decide that they're the ones to flame, it's too late to flame and you miss the mouth. So you end up prematurely hitting flame all the time, thinking that you're flaming a yellow fish, but it's actually a red fish, and then, oh god, not that one, Spyro the Dragon. Nowadays, I just shoot this bit by looking directly into the water in first-person mode to see what fish is coming. Well, is it cheating? I'm just using what the game gives me. I'm a good boy. I wash under my arms.
Oh my god.
There's another bit, which is possibly the most infamous part of
I mean, to be fair, that is an achievement.
There, I just have to ask you a quick
question. I've seen some comments about dudes that don't wash. It's traumatizing. Oh, hello. Hi. Hello. Hi.
Trouble with the trolley. Okay, well, actually, get ready for me to be a contrarian. This isn't hard. It's not easy, but it's really not that bad. I don't know what you're talking about, you whinging wets. In fact, while recording footage for this video, I finished the mission first time and then had to start the mission again and deliberately blow up in order to record the guy saying,
Trouble with the trolley, eh?
I mean, I don't know what to add. It just isn't that hard. And you know what else isn't? The turtle soup mission. Yeah, I said it. What's the big deal? Just keep looping around the pipes that they spawn from and then knock the turtles away way if you come across them. They'll bounce all over the place and it gives you plenty of time to get them back in the water. What's the big deal, you baby bitch buggers? And the dinosaur egg hatching and eating the village people. Yeah, sure, I failed this one like once or twice, but once you get the pattern down, it's just like Simon says. But if Simon only had 8 Simon noises for you to copy, and then Simon played the same Simons every time you Simon. And what about the bombing genie mission in Scorch? Not a big deal either. Did it on my first go. Here's a tip for you if you're struggling. Stop charging after him and stick to the wall so that you avoid most of the bombs bouncing off of them. You can't rush this bit, just go slowly, especially around the steps. You're gonna hate it if you try charging, trust me. Nah, mate, you wanna know what the worst mission of the game is?
Will you escort me past those Earth Shapers?
No! How about instead you suck my nuts? I hate this. I hate this so much.
Escort missions in video games are just... They usually...
You're such a bad dragon, aren't you? Yes, I am.
Everything they say about VTubers is right. So you've got this motherless goat who has a potion to give Hunter because he wasted his month's rent on a new pair of concrete Nikes, and even though the goat is literally
the escort
next
missions in
door
any
to where
video game
Hunter
are
is,
usually
he
just pure
momentarily
shit.
forgets how to steer his own legs and ends up going on a cross-country marathon instead, deliberately walking right into all of the enemies, changing his mind on where he's going all the time, getting in the way of you, rushing around, and you can't get rid of the enemies. All you can do is knock them back temporarily. So getting them all out of the way of him in advance won't work. And the best thing, the 10 out of 10 game of the year best thing that happens is that if you finish this mission, Hunter then says, thanks for getting me out, Spyro, but you need to learn a new move to help me kill all of these monsters, so come back and find me again when you learn it. So you carry on playing the game, learn the move, come back to the level to help out Hunter, and he couldn't wait 5 minutes to put his Adidas stones back on, meaning you've got to do the first part of the mission all over again? What's that? I already have this orb? I had no idea. But anyway, you finish the game and do everything.
Yeah.
You get the orbs, grab the talismans, run away from this
That would
horrific
annoy the
face,
shit out of
and
me.
wonder who decided to bring back the bush munchers from Spyro 1 so you can place an Aztec curse on their family. You finally beat Ripto, and he just... accepts his death. Oh, screw it, I can't win. Everybody celebrates, Hunter sits on Moneybags' face, and we finally go on a holiday in a lovely final cutscene.
It isn't a cutscene. I got you.
Dragon Shores is the final level that is literally just a fun fair that rewards you with tickets in order to unlock a theater to watch the game's cutscenes again. Internet. You play a game of water dunking, ride a roller coaster with a cannon to pop balloons, go to a duck shooting gallery, and never question why the biggest enemies from the first game are now welcoming you into a dark room inside a theme park with no one else in it. And you know what? I also really like the little love boat tunnel because it taught all the kids that played this game that you can love whoever you want. You can love the same gender. You can find love even if you're a smelly, hairy yeti. If that's not your style, you can be on your own. You can have a three-way, what? You can love children. Excuse me?
Wait a minute. Wait, no, hold on, back it up.
Every gem and every orb in the game, you unlock a door that grants you a permanent super breath attack, which is now obsolete because the game is already over. Screw off.
Unless you do a
fuck
Tiger
that,
Woods.
Phoenix. Fuck him up. Throw the gate at him.
And cheat. Yeah, just quit the game and then start a new game that overrides the completed save file, and voila, you now have super breath from the minute you start the game. How sick is that? And that's not all that you can cheat. Do you want to make Simon look like he has leprosy? Because you can do that.
Oh my god.
What? But still not enough? Well, how about a big head mode? Yeah, you can do that too.
Fart mode and big
Game character just for me.
That's still not enough?
Fart mode and big head mode. Oh my god!
You put Spyro
Skin
in a trouser
tea.
press, the end.
Okay, so where are
Skin
we?
tea, y'all.
1, 2, 3.
Look, everyone.
It's my good friend Face.
We are now on game
Do you
number
remember when that was
3,
like in all games? You could activate like a big head mode?
Ha! You are so full of fact. Give me another one.
Most people buy 1 face wash, but I have to buy 3.
You are full of surprises, Face, and so is this game.
In the land of sponsorships. Here we go. Oh my god.
Huh? What?
Wow.
Oh yes.
Holy
I
shit.
forgot. I'm a PS1 game. And now I'm finally all on my own, safe from everybody around me.
How?
And nobody else can
Why?
break it. Hello, I'm Sponge.
Amazing. What the fuck?
Welcome to my lair. Oh dear. And today I've been sponsored by me. Yes, me. I've been sponsored by so many things that now I can finally afford myself. It's the collectible world of Caddicarus, a limited edition exclusive Blu-ray set only available on the pixelempire.com/caddy in the description below. And when I say limited edition, I really mean it. They are selling out fast and you've got to act now because once they're gone, they're gone. Inside
that's actually
this
pretty
gorgeous
cool.
PS1 shaped box that talks to you when you open it. Wow, look in here. Hello, I'm Spuns! You'll find the Blu-ray disc itself with over 5 hours of Caddicarus content not available anywhere else on the internet, such as a Caddicarus episode all about the history of his 11 years on YouTube, a guided PS1 collection tour, a Hidden Block reunion podcast, and so much more. I've always wanted to have one thumb and no fingers. The menus of the Blu-ray have all been specially designed to look and sound as ugly as possible. I mean, look and sound like a 90s PS1 demo disc. And the case for the Blu-ray even features a huge PS1 manual-styled booklet written by Caddy, featuring interviews from important people behind the scenes of the show, countless references and Easter eggs, and even a cheat code you can input on the main menu of the Blu-ray for an additional surprise. No, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Find out yourself, buy it. And whenever I'm taking a ride on my favorite hurricane and praying it doesn't stop over the sea, I like to mention the other things in this box set, such as the exclusive sticker sheet, a double-sided movie poster, 3 exclusive pins for your bag or your face, just make sure you clean the wounds, an extra large sticker to show off what a huge sellout you are, it's the closest you'll ever get to touching the real spons, get used to it, a chance to grab one of 3 Crash Bandicoot relic tickets for a variety of different awards like signed Caddy U2's figures, face-to-face Zoom calls, and $10 to $100 of Pixel Empire gift cards. And to top it all off, a hand-signed card with a scratch and sniff of Caddy's beard. That is not a joke. Do I look like I'm joking to you? I shouldn't need to explain to you why this is so cool, but I just did. And please buy it because this PS1 animation wasn't cheap. Wow,
I imagine
wasn't
not.
That's an interruption. Here's the rest of the video.
Yeah, that animation was most likely cost a pretty penny.
Oh boy, everyone, it's Simon 3. Yay, a donut. The final in the original classic trilogy made by Insomniac Games, and what a fitting developer, because as a kid, Spyro 3 made me into an Insomniac. I adore Spyro 3 with every nerve ending, and every time I pop it in, it makes me wanna... The hills are alive with the sound of... 6-year-old
Them fucking neighbors are mad as hell, yo.
Hands off. True story. It's the best game of the
People
original
just
trilogy
randomly
to me,
walking
without a
by,
doubt.
mad
I know
as hell.
People think it's the second one, but this game has a kangaroo doggy paddling in a lake. You're wrong. Is it because of nostalgia? Yes. Oh, sweet. You can pick your save file icon
Just full
now?
stop. Nostalgia.
I don't know. Who should I pick, Vinny?
What?
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 You're right. Banana.
What the fuck?
To kick things off, even though I love Spyro 2's characters, I was never really fussed about Ripto or whatever his beef was. I didn't find him that funny, that entertaining, or that endearing, which made me not really care about what he was planning to do. But this time, I actually kind of cared about what was going on. You've got this haggard old Minger called the Sorceress, who's so hefty you could send her out to the front line, and her apprentice, Bianca, who have decided to steal all of the baby dragon eggs that came from all of the adult male dragons. Very progressive, Spyro 3. Well done. And instead of stealing them and taking them back to their secret lair, they decide to just leave the eggs all over the damn place for anyone to find. Good plan, guys. I'm sure this won't rear up and ram into you.
Those eggs belong to us now, and I've hidden them in places you'll never find in 1,000 years.
The first egg is right next to where she was standing. That means that this game's collectathon bread and butter are these dragon eggs this time, used to unlock more of the game. And the eggs are just so giddy over being found that they birth right in front of you, with no mess.
I can't.
That bow forming the uterus. You also have these baby dragons that don't like being caught unawares, and... Does this mean the dragons have genets? Now, somebody as nasty as this old bint stealing all of these adorable little babies is bad enough and already makes her appear more like a threatening Cruella de Vil, except scaly and large. But as the game goes on, you then discover she wants to kill them all and rip off their wings for a new spell she's working on. It's not even like she wants to eat them to keep herself alive or anything like that. She just wants to kill them so she can try a new magic trick. If that's not evil, I don't know what is. This causes Bianca to change her mind about being evil, takes her hood off, and that makes Hunter go...
Hurry
you're a fine-looking woman.
Taking that all aside, though, I also really appreciate how much more the gameplay and story are integrated together. There's way more cutscenes showing off what a cow the sorceress is, which builds up to her final boss really nicely. Throughout the whole game, Bianca keeps appearing out of nowhere and taunting you. And even with the levels in each world, instead of just going through each of them, helping the people out, and then getting a magical thing to open a door to get closer to the final boss, instead you go to the levels, help the creatures out, and then as thanks, they all work together to build you a new transport method to get to the next area where you can find more hidden dragon eggs. When Hunter gets kidnapped halfway through the game, for a brief amount of time, all of his side missions and all the levels are unavailable. So come on, get on your ass and save him so you can come back and get more dragon eggs. Everything you do in Spyro 3 has a reason, and it just fits into place better, you know? As for the game itself, well, everything that Spyro 2 did to improve on Spyro 1 is here. Everything from the controls to the weird and wonderful character designs that talk to you like they're grazing in a field.
God.
Hello, I'm Steak.
Karen, he's out there again. He's doing it again.
Yeah, me too. But in my humble opinion, it's just Spyro 2 Plus. It's Spyro 2, but even better. Not by much, they're still both incredible games, but this one beats it out for me just slightly. I mean, yeah, they removed the charming intro and outro level cutscenes, which does mean some of the levels start with, "There are Rhynocs everywhere!
The neighbors are already scarred for life.
But everything else for me was chipped off and polished into the ultimate Simon experience. The camera is panned just a little further back to let you see more of what's around you. None of the temporary power-ups are gated off by enemy defeats. You can stop skating while ice skating now. They brought back way more long gliding platforming sections and secrets that Spyro 1 had, alongside more chances to supercharge than Spyro 1 and 2. Every character around you reacts to being set on fire now, which is a lot better than Spyro 2, where they just stand there defiantly. Walk away, bitch! You know, not that I flame the characters that much anyway.
That escalated quickly.
Are too adorable, and I just want to help them out with their problems.
Our sun has gone out.
Well, shit, you're dead. They even added races to the classic Speedway obstacle levels. They're really boring, yeah. Oh, also, Sparks the Dragonfly talks now. I love it.
Oh God, I remember this.
Moneybags came back and he's still a festering wart. Although he doesn't sound like a drunk anymore.
I can let you into the little castle over there in
Childhood
exchange
trauma
for a few
triggered
gems.
with
And
that
now sounds
sound.
like this.
Spyro! My, how funny to see you here.
He's more like a naughty, jovial uncle that tries to sell his nieces and nephews the warm, opened, sticky sweets from his pocket.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
Bollock sweet. So yeah, he's back to make your life miserable, and so is the caveman with his skeleton friend who's lost all his bones. And yes, he even does the bone dance again. Although this time, he goes on for so long that the regular stage music comes back in the middle of it. It's perfect. You know what? I don't like this Cloud either. Even when you complete his mission and make him happy, the best he can give you is this terrible, terrible face. But Moneybags does a little bit more this time instead of just ripping you off to get through doors. Get this. Now he works for the main villain. In fact, he comes right out the gate the first time you see him and just says the sorceress is paying him to be a tool. And he's standing guard for a collection of new animal buddies with their own stages that are fully playable. And once you buy them off of him, you can visit older levels that have their locked doors inside to then get in and find even more gameplay scenarios to make you go, wow, there's more gameplay scenarios. People often feel a bit like these are desperate ideas from a creatively spent development team, but I couldn't disagree more. They're desperate ideas from a creatively strong development team. First off is Sheila the Kangaroo, an adorable little muppet that takes the standard gameplay and flips it on its side to be about vertical height exploration more than long-distance gliding. And I find her levels extremely fun whenever you launch into the air and smash downwards. And according to the Reignited trilogy, she isn't female unless she has pigtails and a vag. Next up is Sergeant Bird.
Oh my God.
Like that, with the wave of my wand, you're a secret spy just like James Bond. He is an MI5 flying penguin agent with rockets on his shoulders, and I find his part fine. Not the best and not the worst. In open explorative bits with free flying all over the stage, he's a joy, and I appreciate how you can toggle on a below view for aiming drop missiles while still having full control of flight. But in tight spaces, it's like trying to fit an apple in a nostril. Then we have Bentley, a friendly Yeti who for some reason is also a London Cockney.
I genuflect my noble deliverer.
Ding dong! Hello, you I'll have a Jack and Coke on the rocks, so don't worry, I bought my own ice.
My eyes popped. I don't dislike him whatsoever, but he is my least favorite character to play as.
Now
purely
it's not
because
just
he walks
neighbors,
just
it's
a
the general
little bit too slow for me.
populace.
I love how he
It
stomps
is
around and
the
smashes
public.
everything without any effort and reflects projectiles, but a little bit more speed would have been appreciated. Not to mention, he's so big that he blocks off the screen from the dragon that you just saved. Move it! And lastly, there's Jim Carrey Monkey, who uses a rebounding laser gun, grenades, strafing, and first-person sniper shots to get through his sections. I like these a lot. They're good fun, especially when you find his most powerful weapon, the child beard gun. Plus, in those hidden speedway bonus levels, you get to do them as Hunter. And that makes them better and more fun than Spyro 2 because it does, and you are listening to me. And... Hey, did you know that the first ever water birth in a video game was in Spyro 3?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm not joking. Here it is. Welcome to Planet Earth, kid. That's what your lungs filling up with water feels like. Alongside all the animal buddies Simon can save for extra gameplay, you can even control Sparks for the first time ever in his own top-down explorative shooting sections, which I really enjoy as well. You can boost, strafe, use limited power-ups all over the place, and when you finish each one, you unlock a new permanent ability for Spyro, like pointing Sparks towards the direction of missing gems, an absolute godsend, or giving yourself one extra hit before losing a life. Sure, there's parts which aren't perfect.
Ow! I went boom again.
But there's literally nothing I dislike in this game or don't look forward to. Nothing. The worst part in any single Spyro game that's ever been released is in Spyro 3. Yes, I'm not exaggerating. Spyro 2 has more low points, but this single low point in 3 topples all of them on its own. The boxing match with Bentley and this filthy rat is utterly unplayable. You're supposed to have 3 attacks and a block, but absolutely none of these moves come out when you need them to. Either the delay is way too much, or Bentley is way too slow. Whatever the case, this stinking piss rag is able to perform every move at twice the speed as you, and somehow manages to combo when you're unable to.
Yeah, it's actually kind of
every attack you perform like he's reading your mind.
Yeah, it's actually kind of visually easily to see, like how much faster and easier it is. It's like your character is covered in molasses in comparison, really.
Hit him, goddamn hit him, Bentley, why are you missing him? Don't make me call you by your passport name! I could go on all day about this abominable challenge, especially when you win one egg for beating it once, but then need to survive for 3 rounds for a second egg and come out the other end with the most health, which if you aren't deathly lucky, will take you over half an hour, and it's enough to give me a Diane Weist infection. Now ask yourself this, if a video game about a platforming purple dragon came out in the year 2000, what will it add into it to make it immediately much better? That's right, skateboarding.
Of course. Not the green screen. Not the it's just
I shit you not, there's Spyro, the magical fantasy medieval dragon, on a skateboard.
100% legit right there.
The most long john backwards ass thing I think I've ever seen, but man, I just don't care. It's so much fun, especially the races when you have to keep doing tricks mid-air to build up a speed boost. How can you not love this? Look at him go! That's how I feel about Simon 3 as a whole, actually. It can get pretty stupid, but I just don't care because I'm having too much fun with it. And even if I'm not completely enamored with some of the new stuff, it doesn't matter because most of the game is you and Simon, and the increased charging and gliding segments for his gameplay specifically when compared to Spyro 2 are great enough for me to not mind the more experimental angles. My copy of the game is so overplayed and so loved that some of the eggs won't hatch for ages.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes Boss 1 just gets stuck and won't stop pulling off this sick flip. Hello? What do I do? Help! Sheila, look at this. Can you believe this shit? And Spyro very frequently violates personal space.
Be sure to keep your friend Sparks
yeah,
the
a little
Dragonfly healthy,
back it up.
Spyro.
Just
do you
one
mind
step
getting
back.
your nose out of my dress? Wow. And it's even better when
Just a
Sheila is
little-
listening
a
to
little
someone and
step
she's
back.
all like, "Ugh." This bit always gets a laugh out of me. In the mission where you have to protect the ice skater and you mess it up, the enemies end up playing hockey with her. You can even go to Rome and set fire to the Pope. Okay, you can't do that. But you can skate in the Roman Colosseum, though. That makes up for it, I will admit. There's also these penguins here in frozen altars with these voices that I can't decide if they're horrifying or a massive turn-on.
It would be easy to get up to that treasure.
if you had something to stand on.
Yeah, they're horrifying.
Purr. I don't know why, but I feel really cold.
I swear they are this close to starring in a Netflix serial killer biopic.
Right?
Oh,
Like,
and
what
the
the
music
fuck?
this time? My Christ, the music this time? The music in this game, it just makes me want it.
Oh my god.
This is one of my favorite video game soundtracks ever, of all time, period. It's everything that made Spyro 2 music so great, but amped up to 11. It's catchier, more percussive and rhythmic, groovier, more varied in genres, and every time I hear any track from it, I go... I mean, Agent 9's theme alone completely slaps. How many PS1 soundtracks, nay, how many video game soundtracks in general can you say have a song in it that's in 7/8 time signature? I'm sorry, everyone. I was just listening to Velcro ASMR. The bosses are pretty good too. There's more of them than in Spyro 2, and they all look and feel completely different from each other. Not to mention, I think they all look pretty threatening as well, which is a plus. This guy used to terrify me as a kid. That face gives me a heart attack. I hate it. One tries to knock you back into lava and then sneezes fire at you. One tries to shoot you with ammo that you can steal from him and use back at him. One flies around the arena, showering you with attacks and other enemies to chase you, and is only vulnerable while moving instead of being stationary. And the sorceress herself is like a mix of all of them together, but now with the added bonus of using temporary vehicles to blow her up. And that's more or less how this all ends. After you've done your best sitting there for 3 hours watching the professor do this. No. Aha! Putting up with Hunter's bullshit.
Thanks. Did you bring any chips?
And saving all the dragons like Mingus.
These names.
What kind of name is that? Actually, fair enough. He looks like a Mingus. Bianca becomes a good guy. You beat the sorceress by shooting her in the goddamn head. Then Hunter and Bianca become a couple. Ugh, guys.
Ew.
I don't want to see this shit. This is a kid's game. There's not supposed to be any lewd in it. Isn't that right, Chris?
Oh my god.
Okay, ignore him. Isn't that right, Jimmy D. Pooper? What? Okay, ignore him. Isn't that right, I hate everything? Huh? Okay, if I'm not careful, my channel's gonna be suspended. Help me out, Tom Scott.
Oh my god!
No.
Oh
Just
my
like
god!
any Simon game, we aren't done yet.
Oh
After
my god,
we grab
you
every
guys.
single gem and dragon egg in the game, we unlock one final endgame stage. We've been to Nasty's loot, we've been to Dragon Shores, and now our next stop is Super Bonus Round. That's an awful name. But you know what it does mean? Yes, everybody, it's time for a surprise, I was about to say a surprise Mexican bounce round. What?
What?
In all fairness, though, I think this is the best reward
We
of
love
all
a
the games.
surprise
It calls back to
Mexican
Nasty's
bounce
loot in terms
round.
of it being another actual level.
We
but now
love
there's
it,
way
yeah.
more treasure to steal, way more ways of interacting with the stage, way more interesting things to see, places to explore. It's a great unlockable final level. And then this follows on to the true final boss, the sorceress. Again.
I don't know how she did it, Spyro, but the sorceress must have survived that last battle.
Yeah, he's just losing his damn mind.
What? Wait, how did you get another cameo? Yeah, I don't know either. It's almost like they ran out of ideas, and the worst thing is that she doesn't even come back stronger or angrier. She came back on her mobility scooter. This is honestly not a very good hidden boss, but you know, it's not Spyro 1, so I don't mind. Goodbye, Grandma. And as for the super secret 100% hidden ending, it is just that. And that's why this is the best fucking game ever. I'm not kidding either. I treasure Spyro 3. It
11 out of
has an adorable
10.
wolf puppy you can play fetch with. It has breets. It has a bit where you play
Breets?
Doom.
Not the
it has a
breets.
Matrix reference. I mean, who wasn't doing a Matrix reference in the year 2000? It has cowboy dinosaurs. I mean, do you have any cowboy dinosaurs? If you do, can I come over and see them? It has the ultimate revenge fantasy that surpasses Kill Bill by letting you chase down Moneybags at the end of the game and burn his completely flame-resistant pants in order to steal all of your gems back from him. And in conclusion, it has the best sound effect of all time. So I think it's safe to say Spyro 3 really is the year of the dragon. Well, what a perfect little trilogy for the PlayStation. I'm sure glad it stopped there and they didn't try anything else.
Well...
Hello, Caddy. Oh, shave my back. It's my evil twin brother, Baddie. I bought something for you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You should have. I deserve it. You know, I'm starting to think that Baddie isn't actually all that bad. I mean, you know, after all, who goes out of their way to gift you a jigsaw puzzle? I wonder what's on.
Oh my god. Is this like an actual jigsaw puzzle, or did he have this custom made?
Oh my god, I can't believe
I need to know.
It's me, and that means they made another Spyro game. Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly.
I love it.
No thanks. So after Insomniac Games left the franchise behind for Ratchet & Clank, we've now got Check 6 and Equinox teaming up to push this one out on the GameCube and PS2. As for the Xbox... And after they made Enter the Dragonfly, the reviews were so great, they closed down forever. Before anything else, I want to direct you to the demo screen of this game after you leave the start menu running a while, and you are going to watch it with me.
Do you remember playing this one? Do you remember it?
Oh, these are nice flowers. Who am I going to pick for this
Jesus
save
Christ.
game then? Ooh. So the game begins and we get our first cutscene.
What?
Yeah, this looks good. Nothing to see here. It all looks top form. This is exactly like an interactive electronic video
yeah,
game.
except for the
Also,
shitty
this
Game Boy
cutscene
ones. Oh my
tax,
god.
it goes on forever and it really has no right to. Do you want me to paraphrase exactly what happens in this entire cutscene? Wow, isn't everything
Yeah, I can't
great?
remember if I played
Oh no, it's
any of them
Ripto.
except
What are you doing here? That's
one.
a good question.
I honestly can't remember.
That is a good question. What are we doing here? What do you mean, what are we doing here? If you ask me one more question, I'm going to skin you. Now, where was I? Oh yes, that's a good question. I'm here because Yeah, that is more or less exactly how this cutscene plays out. It's just a massive one-sided conversation with Ripto and absolutely nobody else while they all just stand there and let him steal all of these baby dragonflies. You all deserve to lose everything you care about and watch all that you love turn to dust. After that, we all get an uncomfortable look into Bianca's flesh mouth and then off we go
Not
to
the
save the
flesh mouth.
dragonflies.
Ugh.
Or else the other dragons won't be able to use them as human shields. And they have all sorts of cute names like Bonky.
Hey, it's Fluffy.
That's weird, because dragonflies aren't fluffy.
Hey, it's Sandra.
It's Sam.
Oh my spoiled custard. Is this how the game runs? Is the whole
Spoiled
game going
custard.
to run like this? Well, then someone had better catch it then. Come on, Simon,
Not-
exit my
not that
dartboard.
dad
Why
joke.
are you like this? Are you dying? Oh no, there's an ice gate that can only be opened by ice breath. Yeah, alright. So here's the thing. Collecting the dragonflies is the main mission in this game, but it is...
Like, I played the original Spyro, the first one. I remember that. I don't know if I played any of the other originals, but I did. The last time I played a Spyro game was when they did that, what was that, remake or remaster or whatever that came out. That's the last time I ever played a Spyro game. I can't remember if I played any other ones.
Is much easier to do than you think because, yeah, the game is broken. Nah, it's not just broken, it's been shattered into 1,000 pieces. Infamously, you can even finish the entire game in less than 10 minutes by swimming through a hole in a net, flying over to the center of the hub world, and then pissing straight into the final boss portal. Oh.
thing.
Now, many years ago, I made a dedicated video about Enter the Dragonfly. And I was a puss. I didn't actually bother playing the game. I just broke it, finished it in 10 minutes, and then shoved out a lazy joke video to cover my electric bill. But this time, no such excuses.
Nice.
I played it legit, from start to end. So now I can confidently say, without a doubt, the game is still shat.
And I'm not the only one that thinks that, right, Lady Emily?
Spyro, I mean, I enjoyed Enter the Dragonfly as a kid.
Shut up!
I mean, ostensibly, the game is the same as Spyro 1, 2, and 3, but instead of refining or going forward, it takes things away. Simon 1 had 6 hub worlds, Simon 2 had 3, Simon 3 had 4, and this game has 1 hub world. And not only that, it also has 8 levels. 8 levels in total. Simon 3 had 21 Simons and Dartboard only has 8. Sure, they are much bigger than previously, and they do things like putting speedway courses inside those levels to beef up a single level instead of split them up. But it also means that there isn't as much visual variety, way too many flat and gaping chasms of spaces where a level should be, barely any gliding challenges aside from like 3 levels, and despite you having new power-ups to unlock in the forms of different elemental breaths, which is an idea I do love, there is only one single instance of returning to an older level to find something new with an unlocked breath, and all it involves you doing is grabbing kites by standing on children's heads. This also means the music is pretty limited in comparison to the PS1 games too, and I'm not sure why, but despite it being the same composer, it sounds like it's falling asleep most of the time. I don't think the music's bad necessarily, it's just too atmospheric and rich for its own good, especially for a game that looks like this. Can't deny though, Cloud9 is a tune. Not to mention the game is
when the composer
insultingly
makes the
easy.
game
I
sound
breezed
better
through
than
most
it
of it without
actually
even
is.
thinking about it. Check out this mission from the halfway point of the game.
Great. Hey, it's Takahiro.
And of course, I'm sure you've all noticed by now, the lag. Now, I can handle a bit of lag, that's not a problem, but what I can't handle is when the lag starts making things run in slow motion.
Because when things start running in slow motion, I can't even tell anymore if I'm dumping or giving birth.
No, don't worry. Your video is not buffering or dropping frames, and you don't have cataracts. This is how the game looks all the time. It never stops. I almost want to get a cheerleading squad in there to encourage it to run properly, and on many occasions it gets so close but just can't quite get there. Come on, Simon, you can do it, you can do it, you can
Oh fuck.
And in some of the speedway missions and tank battles,
Yeah, I
it
wonder
goes
which version
beyond
ran better.
PowerPoint presentation
That is a
slides.
good
It's like
question.
looking at a newspaper. It's a necessary evil though, team, because we need
Be
to
very
include
scared,
the
Yuko.
fog.
Be very scared.
And grass physics. If there was ever a
Not
game
the
I wanted
grass
to dive under the
physics.
hood of and see what the hell is going on with it, it would be Enter the Dragonfly. So I got my mate Boundary Break to look into the inner workings of the game, and this is what he found.
Oh god!
Wow, how did the developers leave that in? And even if the game didn't run like a crusty pair of jeans,
When behind the
whole thing
scenes
still
goes too
feels like
far.
it's underwater. Movement is so slow and extremely floaty. The gems take 3 years to hit the ground after you break them out of baskets, and oh
Yeah.
man, oh
is
geez, are
bad.
you a go. I don't mind the
This is
general
bad.
graphics and the level aesthetics. Sometimes it can be quite nice, but what is it with these mouth animations? Is your face trying to run away from itself? You can't just take the low poly PS1 Toasty Maker mouths and then smooth them out for the PS2. It was charming back in 1999, but in 2002 it all looks like a pair of old socks. And on top of all of that, as you could quite clearly see earlier, the game isn't finished.
Spyro!
And I'm not talking about the gameplay removals either. Technically, it's a disaster as well. Have you ever played a game where there's a loading screen? To load a loading screen. Spyro has no drop shadow,
Yeah.
making gliding a total pain in the sphinx. Enemies don't attack you. Spyro gives up walking and just floats everywhere.
Oh
The
my
progression
God.
atlas disappears and turns black.
That's the
gets stuck
Spyro
in
version of the
ladders. Charging
T-pose.
decides to stop working entirely. Sound effects disappear at random. The wing deflect move you unlock, aside from only being needed for
See,
one
this is
single
why-
part of the game, doesn't even make its target when you...
This is why back then it was very important to actually finish the game, making the game before release. Because this was before you could download updates and shit on day one release dates, okay? This is back in the day when if you didn't finish the game, it wasn't finished until like the Game of the Year edition or some bullshit.
You do need it. Spyro loves to do these random falling animations
This is
after
like
charge
because
jumps
your
and
game was
completely
fine.
stop you in your tracks
What'd you
mid-air.
have it for?
The milk breath you get from space candy has no range. The camera
what?
controls often stop working entirely whenever you move. The
What are
camera
these
forgets
fucking
that it's supposed to be
cameos?
looking at you all the time. Sparks just refuses to eat butterflies when he desperately needs them for extra hit points. The Spitfire
GameCube,
machine
okay.
gun needs to be tapped over and over again to fire instead of just held down. Your flame breath sometimes doesn't attack at all. The characters are always turning into statues, especially during dialogue. Uh-oh, he stopped. Can someone put a pound in him? Then there's my favorite one. Whenever you're in the tank, you're able to twist the turret with the shoulder buttons whenever you're stationary. But then when you start moving, you're allowed to twist the turret left, but then twisting it right stops working, only when you're moving. This game is incredible. And taking the coding issues out of the way and the gameplay being stripped back from the PS1 days, the game's also unfinished in other weird ways, like with good old Rage Against the Machine Bags, who only appears one single time in the entire game on level 1 and never comes back, which is probably for the best because I don't like your cultural appropriation. And there's this bit where you
Not
talk
the
to a
cultural
monkey, finish a sliding mission, get a dragonfly, and then the game makers forgot to make the monkey
Moneybags.
offer you an extra dragonfly for doing the mission again on hard mode. So Sparks just turns around to you and says, "Oh, wait a second, there's another dragonfly mission here, but the monkey forgot to tell you about it, so do you want to do the slide again?" Oh, and speaking of
for
Sparks,
fuck's
most of
sake.
the time he has the same voice in Spyro 3 that I love dearly. Except for one single instance when Spyro insults him and he outright just says the word hi. You can look up reviews of this game when it first came out on the internet, but honestly, I don't think it's possible to review this game. They're all just encyclopedias of everything wrong with it.
Hey, it's Shadow.
So when all is said and done and you can't stomach it any longer, you end up at the final boss, Ripto. Oh no, wait, I meant the only boss, Ripto. What is this game's daddy issues? And the boss itself is, well, it's on brand, I'll give it that. Also worth mentioning that if you start this fight off, you have bricked your save file and can never leave the fight until you beat the game. So if you're going for 100%, do not go into the boss portal, you'll never come back. The fight itself is pretty
Damn.
but the best thing about it is that after you beat him, you get this cutscene. Yes, Enter the Dragonfly genuinely feels like a load of people got together in a meeting, one person came in and said, "Hey guys, I've got 8 new Spyro level ideas," and the rest of the team said, "Thank you." That is all. It is sadly the first of quite a few Spyro games that doesn't make me go. In fact, the game is so bad I don't even think any children's TV presenters on CBBC would take a paycheck to advertise it to kids, would they, Chris Johnson?
Oh, they'll buy anything. CBBC's been showing the exact same episode of Tracy Beaker on a loop for years, and none of them have noticed. Little pricks.
So that's why you don't present CBBC anymore. The only major
What?
drops of
What the
praise I can
fuck?
give this game are that it gives you the ability to warp to any level right from the pause menu once you've already visited it. The sliding missions are admittedly a lot more fun than Spyro 3, and above all, at least it isn't racist.
Oh no.
Okay. By the way, guys, you
Not
can keep your
racist
trouble
trophy.
with the trolley. Shit. The one phrase I had to hear at least 6 goddamn times over was,
Defend the Puffy Palace?
"This dog fight is dog bad." The enemy
Dog
planes can
bad.
drain your health in seconds.
Wow.
They're too hard to hit. There's no aiming
Calm
reticle,
down there.
and the battleships take at least 1,000 missiles to take down. And after every 30 seconds of each failed attempt, I got thrown back to the goddamn defend the Puffy Palace. The only way I could win this mission is by giving the battleships a good old ram over and over again while spamming the ever-loving hell out of the missile button. Because that's fun, isn't it? Actually, yes it is. Especially if it means avoiding...
Defend the Puffy Palace.
Luke, that wasn't even close. You're an embarrassment. The most annoying thing about Exit My Dartboard, though, is that the base is definitely there. I can see a started game. I can see a natural extension from PS1 Spyro to PS2 Spyro. It's extremely close to being a competent, simple, yet effective bit of comfort food, like a peanut butter sandwich, except it's a peanut butter sandwich that has the bread, but replace the peanut butter with more bread. That's what this is. Spyro 4 is a bread sandwich.
A poor
and who in
person
Satan's
sandwich is out
pantry
there.
signed off on this credits image. I mean, I like it. It's funny. Wait a second, is your name Two-Eyed Willy? Thing is, though, I didn't just decide to play every level and beat the game. I decided to beat it all. I completed this game 100%. I got everything. I did everything just for the chance of having an extra cool hidden bonus ending thing, just like in all the other 3 Spyro games. And what did I get here? I got a secret ending cutscene. And what was it?
Well, everything is finally back to normal. Isn't it, Spyro?
Spyro Enter the Dragonfly makes me want to piss the bed.
Oh my god! No!
Well, that was a huge waste of living. I wish I didn't have to sit on a sofa and commit to playing a bad
once again,
game on a giant
scarred
TV,
for
you know?
life.
Why can't I just play classic Spyro whenever I want, wherever I want?
The neighbor's literally just calling up their
son,
therapist
turn that
right now.
frown upside down because Spyro the Dragon went portable.
Uh-oh.
Part 2.
You're
a bit small, aren't you? Yes, everyone. Even though the start of the PS2 was a bit of an old egg for the Dragon, Simon seemed to flourish on the Game Boy Advance for multiple games before the next mainline console title, starting off with Simon Silly Old Ink. Look at it. It's Spyro, all right. He's running, he's jumping, he's flaming, he's charging, he's gliding, he's even hovering. It's just like classic Spyro.
Not Phoenix
but now
approved.
You can't see it. This is Season
Not
of
Phoenix
Ice, with Digital
approved.
Eclipse being the ones who made it. And before they even started making the game, they had to leap over one major obstacle. It doesn't fit. So if they were going to make a Simon game fit into a GBA,
the sacrifices must be made.
As you can see, it is pretty close to PS1 Simon, but with a shitload of cubes. So if you like cubes, you're going to love this. With it being a Game Boy Advance game, you can't see much of the screen around you. There's tons of moments you'll get hit off screen and die instantly. It's difficult to tell sometimes what height things are for longer glides, but all things considered, they did a great job here. Is what I would be saying, but the problem is I don't really like Season of Ice. And no, it's not
Really,
just
Yuko?
because they brought Moneybags back. He doesn't even carry
That is what
bags
she
of
said,
cash
Chuck.
anymore. He's on Visa. The controls are pretty tight. You can do most of the moves you're accustomed to. You collect gems and find hidden items. You save a main collectible to keep unlocking the rest of the game, this time being fairies. Getting extra lives is as simple as burning small animals, and it only takes 3, 7, or 40 of them. Even Sparks has his own levels again that feel right at home on the GBA. The core is here, but everything around it is all mushy and smelly. The charge is way too quick for the screen size, and if you ever use it for more than a few seconds, there's a 95% chance you're getting prune skin. And yes, you can use the left trigger to look around you, but that's only when you're standing dead still. So whenever you move into another part of the game, you will not see what's coming up unless you keep stopping, looking, and then moving a few steps forward.
yeah.
Oh, leave me alone, you rag! And in the cruelest twist of fate, if you die, you lose all of your progress in the level, except for the gems and enemy defeats.
This
There's
sounds
no checkpoints
extremely
at all. And
annoying.
with levels like these, where everything looks the damn same, trying to re-find treasure chest keys that then stick into a treasure chest you have no clue where it was before, or re-finding all of the optional items to burn around the level for an extra fairy is utterly miserable. Made even worse when you were killed unfairly by an off-screen attack, or whenever Spyro gets hit in general and decides to slide backwards for like 5 hours until he falls right into his tomb. Oh, and even if you don't manage to die and complete objectives that involve exploring these copy-paste box factories, you get forcibly teleported to the middle of Dickville nowhere and then need to figure out how to get back to where you were before. I don't know what square I was at before. The game has no map to tell me. I can't do this all on my own. I'm not Biden, but at the absolute very least, you can do this.
Wait a minute.
And I'm sure there's a million other things I forgot to mention about this game. Have you got anything, Thaf?
What?
Oh my god, you're right! I forgot to mention that! And while I'm whining about a 21-year-old game that nobody cares about, the bosses suck too. This is Grendor, the main villain. He appears twice. You fight him twice. He has a head. Twice. Who is he? What's his breakage? Why should I care? Why does Grendor sound like a cough syrup? I don't know, but I can give him credit for giving us a break from all of the cubes in the game by throwing balls at us instead. There's also these speedway levels in the game that are visually impressive and try to stay as faithful to the PS1 speedways as possible, and I don't mind these, but they share the same problem with the rest of the game, being that they're all the same. The visuals are the same, the challenges are the same, the level designs are the same, the bosses are the same. This is Spyro's sameson of same. And then, for the cherry on top of this cake of potato and wee, you can only unlock the second boss, that is, the final boss, by beating the game 100%. Thanks for the reward of letting me finish the game by having to treat it like Elon Musk's hairline and comb it back to front. And the ending of the game, no joke, is Grendor having his two-headed problem fixed, followed by, okay, I'm sorry. Bye! And then the final insult to close it all off is that you unlock a bonus Sparks game, which is just asteroids, but with this face. Merry Christmas.
You know what? I'm shocked. As a kid, I used to love this game, but now I just agree with his bullies. I don't want to play with this thing anymore.
No, wait, don't get rid of it yet.
Oh, hello. Look, everybody. It's Wallace Big. What are you doing here?
I have a good game for you on the Game Boy. Don't give up on it now.
Why are you shouting? You're already massive.
Here, take this. It is usually much smaller, but in my big hand it is much bigger because I am so big.
Wow. Thank you so much, Wallace.
Yep, meeting a lot of new people. A lot of new people.
He's big, ain't he?
So first off, we had Simon, silly old ink, and now we have Simon too, silly old fish. Gotta say, right now, I love this box art. It's incredible. Gone are the days of creative collages of characters and colorful new worlds. No, we're just gonna have face. And before I get into the nitty-gritty, I can definitely say out the gate that not only is Spyro 2 GBA so much better than the first one,
well, fuck.
but it's also actually probably one of my favorite GBA games of all time. No, I'm not pulling you. This is an unironically great game, and it's the first time for a few games now that I can finally say makes me go. The idea is the same as the first, and from the initial glance, it looks exactly the same. I'm gonna do it every time. Trust me, it's far from it. I mean, look, it has slopes. First off, the controls are way better.
You've done that before? You mean breaking the light like that? I believe it.
You move slightly slower while running and charging, but that just makes it way easier to charge everywhere without running off the stage. The camera moves automatically towards the direction you move, giving you more chance to see what's coming. They brought the changing elemental breaths back from Into the Dragonfly for different styles of attack and puzzle solving. And yeah, there's puzzles now. It's not just a run around and pick everything up spiel. You have side missions with different things to do, more secrets to explore. Moneybags is... There's no more repetitive speedway shooting sections, and instead, these Sheila and Agent 9 levels that offer totally different and fun gameplay styles, like side-scrolling run-and-gun missions, which I really get a kick out of, or isometric, slower-paced puzzle platforming. And Sheila's dialogue face looks like... There's power updates now for extra powerful breath attacks for further puzzles, or even new ways of exploring the better-designed levels. And if you get lost, oh my god, there's a map! Which shows you where you are, blacks out the areas you haven't explored yet, and even shows you where level doorways are on the hub world. Sliding backwards when getting hit has been totally removed, which is great enough on its own, but even if you do die, it doesn't matter because all of your collection progress during the level is saved, except for the treasure chest key. Why? And you don't go back to the beginning of the level because there are checkpoints throughout now. And the music, oh, the music is so...
Yeah, some of the music from all the Spyro games we've gone through so far, some of it I could listen to, chill to, but some of them, there's a few that would drive me insane.
Along with doing new and different things in each stage, whenever you do complete a mission, you also don't get randomly picked up and spat out on a bit of dirt 3 miles away from where you just were. And you even collect fireflies in this game, which is class. It's way better than collecting lame-ass fairies. I don't want to collect them. What do I look like, a wuss? They always get in your hair and... oh... so itchy. Oh,
oh my god.
Fairies in my fur. Fairies in my fur. Ah!
There aren't only more bosses to fight, but there are also Crush, Gulp, and Ripto from Spyro 2. Not my favorites, but still more familiar and better executed than whatever this thing is that can service 2 at once.
You know what else I noticed? Sparks keeps wanting to say ass and the game never lets him. He's always just about to say it, but then the game chickens out like it's E for everyone or something. This will not do, Nintendo. Sparks needs his ass.
Hashtag let Sparks say ass. Literally everything wrong with Season of Ice is fixed here, and I couldn't be happier about that. Even the little things
You
like
think I
each
had, like,
playable
I love-
character flying back to the
Do I have the
hot rod is
batteries for
great.
that shit?
It's a flying ape. And character dialogue having these noises is great. It sounds like when I'm trying to fit on a tight boot. I also love to stand on moving platforms and hold the look button down. Bye-bye, Simon. The only part I really don't like is this one mission here when you've got to use electric breath to protect a mouse loading a rocket ship, mainly because for some baffling reason, the lightning breath just doesn't work, only in this part of the game too. But who cares? I can't be angry at the first video game ever to have a level made out of runny green cheese.
I think Todd is looking a little tired, don't you?
You don't have to 100% the whole game to finish it either, and if you do choose to 100% it, you unlock a bonus game from the main menu called Sparks Panic, which I thought he was doing in the other game. But now it's basically the exact same Sparks shooting you already know by this point, but it's wave-based now. And then you can even play Dragon Giraffes!
That's what I
If
thought you
you're
were
playing
talking
with me,
about.
You don't play drafts. You lose it. Oh, I know that sound. Oh, you know, that's the great thing about Cash, isn't it? It doesn't matter wherever I go or whatever I do. He's always there. And that's what I love about him, is that he's never able to leave me alone. And you know what? That's fine with me. That's my lot in life. Crash and I, we're both linked at the hip. There's nothing that anybody can do about that. And wherever I go and whatever I do, he's always going to be there. That's totally fine with me. I've got no problem with it. And you know the small price to pay for such a great game? Every so often, you get a tiny tad of slowdown. But honestly, that really doesn't bother me. I like to look at Spyro 2 GBA like a little old man. Yeah, he may slow down occasionally, but he's got more wisdom to make up for it. And he hates foreigners.
Oh my god.
Well, Wallace Big, you weren't lying. This game actually turned out pretty great. So thanks so much for the wreck. Well, you know. No, I don't. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. No, great bye. Have a great bye. You're big. I know, yes, it has its downsides, or should I say downsize?
Stop. Just stop. Just... Why? Why?
So who wants to throw me the next game? Oh, thank God, it's only taken 7 games and Spyro is finally going on an adventure. This is Spyro Adventure, also known as Attack of the Rhynocs in the US, or as I like
Game
to
Boy
call
Advance
it,
games
Simon.
were there for Spyro?
Awesome.
Jesus
I have
Christ.
Rubella. Ooh, what's this? A mini game from the start? Bird rescue? Ooh, let's see what this is about. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is happening?
This is the 3rd game in the GBA series made by Digital Eclipse, and this one in particular eclipses the rest. Indy Mouse, please laugh at my Spyro joke.
Caddy, what did I tell you about calling me about these stupid dragon games?
You're right, it was funny. And that's because this game tries something a little bit different. It's the standard GBA Simon Fare, but now open world. And I really like this idea. In fact, no, I don't like it. I love it. There's individual large quests scattered around every level in the giant single hub
I figured
world,
there was a ton
and
of
lots
Spyro
backtracking
games,
when
considering, you
acquiring
know,
new power-ups to explore previously inaccessible
it's a 2.5
areas to
hour
find
video,
more quest
so-
items that are needed in earlier stages. And this is all a great direction for the portable
Which one's your
series,
favorite,
except...
Yomi?
Okay, so with the game being open now, the individual side levels are much smaller than the other games to compensate navigation. But even with a map, that doesn't mean much when trying to find characters for quest items is a total pain when all the NPCs look the damn same, and I don't remember who these people are or where the hell to find them. Is this guy over here Steve?
Yeah,
How about
wait.
you? Are you Steve? And this guy, are you Steve or are you Air Force Joe? This game takes the worst of ice and the best of flame and mixes
Air
them
Force
together to
Joe.
create...
Oh my god.
A load of wet. You'll find all of these multicolored chests all over the game that require keys that you need to find 2 halves of each scattered around the rest of the game. Once you assemble the key, you can then go back and unlock all of these chests of the same color across every level in the game. And there's no indication what levels they're in or
I'm almost
whereabouts they
afraid
are.
now, Yomi.
Some are in side rooms,
Sounds
some are hidden on high
ominous.
platforms, and some are just laying around like dead cats. And I would just go ahead and not worry about them if they were all full of optional gems for the sake of 100% completion. But I can't ignore them because some chests have gems, and some have extremely valuable items to further progress the game, meaning that whether you like it or not, you have to go back through the whole game every single time you assemble a new key and find all of the chests in every level just in case you missed one with a quest item in it. And if the chest is hiding in one of the side rooms, you'd better pray it's not one of the ones that need 2 buttons being pressed at totally opposite points of the level under a time limit every single time you need to get into that side room. No, it doesn't stay open. You have to do this every single time. And then the chances are you get in there and you haven't got the right colored key yet. But unless you write it down, how are you gonna know? I'm a kid playing this on a Game Boy Advance in the back of my car trying not to throw up. I'm not gonna do any note-taking.
Memories.
Policeman. It's pretty cool that Agent 9 came back, you know, good for him. But he ended up trading his laser pistol
used to get car sick so bad whenever I tried to play a game.
Tricky run and gun segments from Season of Flame, these are slow and awkward stealth segments where if you get spotted one single time, you have to start over at the previous checkpoint. This whole system just slows everything down. And if you want to talk about slow, take a look at Sergeant Bird making his first playable debut on the G-Bap. Well, what in the shit is this? I didn't realize Spyro's new animal friend was polio. These sections suck. I'm sorry. All you do is hit the A button over and over again to ascend, shoot machines trying to attack you, and save soldiers that are dotted all over the place. You can either save one at a time and keep going back and forth, which takes absolutely forever, or collect multiple ones all at once at the cost of being slower, heavier, and meaning you have to ram the fly button even faster, like you're angrily showing your crewmates where the hidden gold is. It sounds the same,
push that button like you mean it.
And mostly feels the same, but Spyro Adventure for me is just way too lofty and open-ended for its own good without giving you the necessary tools to make it feel as fun to play as Season of Flame. Well, actually, I say that it sounds the same, but I take that back because the music this time is... On top of that, you fall through the floor more times than I think should legally be allowed. Agent 9's grappling hook does not work properly. Moneybags is now pink, and most of the missions are now just...
Well, Spyro, look out! A thief has stolen one of the dragon babies, and you've gotta stop him!
Oh my god!
Yeah, alright. One of the things we need to save the world is in this
safe. Yeah, it's a little too easy for that one.
I'm in. Also, I think Moneybags now has a kid, which means I can't look at him anymore without knowing that someone rode him. Well, I don't know about you guys, but after playing all these GBA games, I'm getting sick of looking at squares. Can I please get a game that just has no squares in it for a change? I know, maybe there's one over to my left. I can't believe those things you just said. Oh, look everybody, it's my cousin Squaddy, you shapist. Oh, come on, Squaddy, I've been looking at squares all day. I just want a break from them. Oh yeah, we'll take a break from this.
Oh my god.
Fun. Hey, round boy, my face is
what
up
the
here.
fuck
Sorry,
is happening?
I just didn't realize you people were so violent.
Not that, Phoenix. Not that.
One more Spyro GBA game, known everywhere as Spyro Orange, the Cortex Conspiracy. No. Although it's more commonly known in the UK as Simon Fudge. And not only is this the final standalone Spyro game on the Game Boy that wasn't a port and not made by Digital Eclipse, but it was also a crossover game. And a crossover game with another platforming juggernaut that you all know and love.
Is it Snoik?
No, Eggman. It's the one, the only Mickey Mouse.
What the? Stop!
One cameo! Oh yeah, after
Stop
years
it.
of suspense and build-up, teasing fans all over the world by Naughty Dog and Insomniac hiding Crash and Spyro demos in each other's PS1 games, the two best-known PlayStation mascots were finally getting together on a system that needed a lamp. And yes, this also means Spyro and Crash's villains team up too, this game having Ripto and Cortex as bad guys. And the story they have here is that Ripto and Cortex team up to stop Crash and Spyro. And look, oh my god, guys, there he is! Together on screen in the same game for the first time.
You remember
ever.
this, Phoenix?
And we become best friends after a boss battle where Spyro stands still, does absolutely nothing, and murders Crash with Molotov cocktails. What I don't understand, though, is that if it worked in Spyro Orange, why doesn't it work for me on Tinder?
Oh my god!
Here is a Simon side-scroller, which, you know what, I'm not completely against.
Once again,
We've had
neighbors
3
are like,
games of bastard squares
sake.
taking all of our jobs! And now we have this. I'm fine with it. And we can run, jump, and... Yes, we don't charge anymore and we don't glide. Two of the things that made Simon Simon. A controversial move that I will never understand, but not as much as how I don't understand this. This is the replacement glide, everyone. Having a mid-air fit. And you know what? I wouldn't mind the lacking inclusion of two of Spyro's most defining things if the flame
just
wasn't
have a seizure
spit
mid-air
on the floor that never hits any enemies, and if it didn't control as slippery as it does. You don't need to throw soup at Van Gogh to protest oil. Just make people play Spyro Orange and they'll never want to see oil again. I am barely just about to make the jumps on tiny platforms here, and most of the time I do, it isn't without jittering on the D-pad to land accurately because of just how oiled up the floor feels all over the game. It's worse than your local kebab shop, and once you mix already slippery controls with slippery ice in the ice world, just burn it, make it water, I'll drink it, I'll spit it out, I'll soak it up, and then I'll eat it. This can't be all the game is, though. And you're right, so what else do you do here? You find portals to minigames, beat them, and that is it. Spyro Orange is a minigame collection in disguise, and not a very good one. This is what the game considers a fully fledged minigame. Do you want to play Breakout, but while the ball is on a tractor? Do you want to play a slow anti-gravity mech game where you collect one bullet at a time and fire one bullet at a time? Do you want to play an auto-scrolling flying shoot-'em-up stage where nothing happens? Do you want to play an auto-scrolling flying shoot-'em-up stage where nothing happens? Do you want to play an auto-scrolling tank shoot-'em-up stage when... Oh, wait, sorry, let me just flip this over. Do you want to play an auto-scrolling flying shoot-'em-up? Repetition is this game's mantra, and even for the ones that don't copy each other or repeat, every single minigame here is dreadful. In fact, it can all be perfectly summed up by the first ever portal you jump into. Spyro very slowly jumping over holes in a Jeep. And that's it. That's the Spyro Orange experience condensed. And for the love of God, keep to the sides of all of the flying stages because the middle will always trap you into a game over that you can't see coming. Stay away from the center.
I would feel bad if this was someone's first Spyro game.
And some of these mini games go on for
any of the ones on Game Boy, really.
But I don't need to tell you this. When me and my sister were kids, I got Crash Purple for Christmas while she got this, and she loved it, didn't you, Rosie? What? See, she's an idiot. I've never played a game before where the game itself feels like it doesn't care. I've never been more acutely aware of a game nearly reaching sentience and telling me itself it is bored.
I feel like I honestly don't know. Phoenix, she might be just suppressing the horrible memories.
All he does is ask for money so you can buy trading cards, which do absolutely nothing. And the shopping experience itself... Wow, I love shopping here. Do you have a loyalty card? The only real triumphant moments of the game appear when you win a minigame. Even then, Spyro doesn't even look like he knows what just happened. You did it! Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? Do you know what theme I've noticed throughout this whole game? Depression.
Our old friend, Depression.
Serious. I think this game is about depression. This new character, Blink the Mole, is always hiding underground, away from the sun. In Cortex's boss fight, he just gives up halfway through and accepts his inevitable death. Whenever Spyro wins tug-of-war matches against creatures trying to destroy his world and kill his friends, he looks sorry for them. Sergeant Bird hung himself, and in every cutscene, Spyro never looks happy. Follow me, Crash. Bosses don't even try to hurt you. They're more interested in jollying themselves or slumping left and right over and over again while all you do is jump over them to win. The only real challenge is with Crush and Gulp together, and even then, Gulp tries so little to actually hit you that Spyro falls asleep. The whole game, from start to end, took me 46 minutes to finish. And 5 of those minutes were when I paused the game because I had to take a massive crap. So in an effort to add more value to the game, do you know what they did? They locked the final world out until you beat every minigame before it 3 times each. What? Everything again. 3 times each, when most of the minigames are copies of each other anyway. Are you trashed? No, not having it. I am not having it. Not having it. Jim Caddick, 28, male, not having it! Why didn't you tell me about this lady pelvic?
Get over here, you damn bore. Felix!
Huh? Oh my god, I'm so sorry for your loss. Let's be real, you'd have to be mental to play the whole game again 2 more times, with tiny little changes in difficulty, just so you could get to the last world. So you get to the final world of the game, and lo and behold, it's exactly the same as all the other worlds, with the same mini-games, and the same slipperiness, the same pitiful everything. With the final boss being a carbon copy of the final boss from Crash Bandicoot Purple, which you didn't
it's
have
kind of
to
easy to notice they really just did that shit to pad out the
finally ending with Spyro
playtime.
looking like... But my absolute favourite bit, the best bit of the game entirely, is that near the end,
is
there's
that the shipping you can get behind,
platforming
Phoenix?
sequence
Okay.
in the whole thing, full of long jumps, airborne enemies, leaps of faith, and it takes a while to get through it. But once you do get through it, the reward waiting for you at the end is Crash Bandicoot. The hidden secret of the game, locked behind the hardest part of it, is one of the main characters. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is one of the worst games I've ever played. I can't stand it, and I never want to play it again. So long, Scroat.
Oh my god!
I'm a real fire dragon. Part 3. The next games had better be good.
The neighbors have just, they've moved out, they've left.
Spyro
They've left
Orange,
the country.
We can finally get somewhere with Simon, a happy teeth. A Hero's Tale came out in late 2004 for PS2, GameCube, and Xbox right after Orange. And from now on, we've got no more of the original teams behind the first few games. Different voice actors, developers, composers, the lot.
Yeah, those
Maybe
fuckers,
for the best,
they
I
left,
don't
they
know.
jumped ship.
He knows. By the way, don't let this cover fool you. Even though it looks like a George R.R. Martin epic, you start the game up and get...
Dude, some dudes drain my pool,
Oh,
dude.
God.
I mean, dude.
So after Spyro Orange, everything is just and as it should be. The game opens with a familiar face, nasty
Very
knockers,
early
and then this new
2000s.
ultra-mean baddie
Bruh,
appears to try and take
dude.
over the world with a face
Bruh,
like a crumpled
dude.
sewage pipe. His name is Red. I hope we find out why he's called that. The intro to our goodies begins, and who
We
is
need
Red?
the lore
That's
on
the
why that
fallen
red dragon is called Red.
I'm sure you've heard all about him.
No.
Yeah, we don't know, and we don't care. In this whole game, we never seem to care. We get hit on, don't care. We fight a thick old fish woman, don't care. We lose 80 dragon eggs from a nursery, no need to chase after the thieves, don't care. We get told to collect things to power this thing, don't care. And the professor doesn't seem to care either.
What exactly do you need to collect?
We're almost there to your favorite one, Yumi? Oh no.
You need 8 light gems.
You know what? This is just the levity I needed. I really like this. This is actually kind of funny. But hey, you! Who the hell is Red?
I'm old.
I actually really like the story here. No one gives a shit from start to end, and it's pretty entertaining. Plus, it allows the game itself to be played more than watched, which is good, because Hero's Tale is really good. In fact, no, it's great. Yeah, I said it. These reviews, they're all wrong.
Small dark holes. Not a problem for me, Spyro.
Oh my god!
This game is another attempt at Spyro-esque gameplay in a more open-world setting. And
That-
you know what?
that
It's not the best
escalated
open-world game I've
very
ever played, but for
quickly.
Spyro, I think it pretty much nails it. Not only is the open-world idea extremely fluid and well-executed, with tons of fast travel stations and a great map system to show where you have and haven't been, but the world you travel to have some of the most engaging and creative gliding
Phoenix.
puzzles and tricky enemies to get by in
also
the
have
whole
issues with your
series. The
favorite too.
movement
Explain
controls
it,
are
okay.
really smooth. The charge is really snappy, and I love that it gallops this time. It even feels so good to just run around in circles and see how Simon's body snakes around behind you. That is great attention
Love
to
how he's still calling
animation.
him
There's
Simon.
no stiffness, no
I love it.
floatiness, no charge jumping, and no hovering. Okay, it's not perfect. Why is there no hover? Can someone get me my cyanide?
Hey!
Derek, you are way too eager to give me that.
I only want what's best for you, man.
Oh my god!
That
Oh
is a
my god!
baffling exclusion.
No!
The hover has
Wait!
been a staple for years, and even on the Game Boy Advance. Why has it gone now? The lack of hover makes some jumps unnecessarily annoying. What? You can pull yourself up from ledges? Good for you, matey bubble bath! Everything else, though, is terrific. Gems fall out of baskets and metal crates extremely quickly, and Sparks picks them all up quicker than you can... And even though, yes, the hover is gone, the new double jump is a decent enough replacement. And you know what? I also love the way that you can hold the breath button down now and trail the breath attack for a few seconds to cover more
It's all
area
these
and
fucking
distance.
cameos.
It's
How many
more like a
cameos
spray
have
than a
there
breath,
been
but it
already?
works great.
Like,
Even
good
better when you
God.
mix in the returning additional elemental breaths. And unlike Exit My Dartboard, each breath provides a brand new way to attack and puzzle solve that all have their own costs and benefits instead of all being basically the same attack but looking slightly different. Fire is the same as always. Electric can penetrate armor but also needs to be held down for longer to kill anything. Ice freezes practically everything, but also means you have to charge into enemies after freezing them. And water breath pushes wood. I hate this breath. You might as well have Spyro spit sand on everyone's face. Goobus, I asked you to animate Spyro eating sand, you waste of space. Okay, hold the phone. Who signed off on this character? No, this isn't a glitch. This is a separate character. It's just another model of Spyro covered in salsa. This is peak character design. I love it. Oh, also, the power-up gates are back for invincibility and supercharging. Always a pleasure to see. This genuinely feels like a natural evolution from PS1 to PS2 for what a Spyro game should be aiming to try and do for a new generation. I really dig it. And it has been way too long since a Spyro game has made me go. The bosses are also actually bosses again, thank bosses. You've got Nasty Nork with his very supportive bra, and he is a little easy, yeah, but he's boss 1 and he puts up way more of a fight compared to Spyro 1 as a final boss. Then there's the Sea Woman, who is honestly completely pathetic.
I'm going to tear you to pieces! But can you please wait? I really need a nap.
He isn't a threat whatsoever. Even this mammoth here is more of a danger, and
it's
the
like,
first time you see
I'm gonna
him,
kill you.
Rip. Relax, buddy. Spyro's still alive.
As I was saying
know,
before I was
we'd be going back to a
rudely
previous
interrupted
save.
Oh,
by
yeah,
Nip.
speaking of you, this is the first game in the series where we
Like
can
that
actually
one boss,
control Hunter. Well, you know,
she's so
on the
relatable
ground
to me
and not
because like I would be
flapping.
in
And I
the
find
middle
it
of
really
murdering
fun. It's
somebody,
basically
and I'd be
more
like,
Spyro's
wait, give
gameplay,
me
but with quicker movement,
give me like a
no
10-minute
glide,
nap
and a
here.
focus
Hold on.
long-range arrow combat and puzzles. It's like a fast-paced Zelda minigame that allows you to jump and climb much easier, and I welcome the switch up whenever it happens.
You see this cave behind me? Well, it looks like you're not gonna fit through there.
You know what? You're right. I can't fit in there. And that's not all. We also have the new playable character, Blink the Mole, the professor's nephew. Ah, back in the good old days of wearing the first letter of your name on your hat, your feet looking like giant suction cups, and for God's sakes, man, put some trousers on! I will admit that these aren't the best bits of the game for me, but I don't hate them. They're just... The idea is that you run around a series of underground caves, search for dark crystals, and then blow them up with a limited supply of bombs you can find elsewhere in the tunnels. It controls fine, but all of his segments are visually identical. He isn't the most acrobatic mole I've ever seen, you know, like how moles are known to be. And it takes so long to find all the crystals, even longer if you miss a hidden area above or below you and have to backtrack. And then after you get through it once, you have to do it again for another collectible, which is just the exact same minigame in the same level design all over again, but with double the crystals to blow up and more tunnels to get through after going through the other tunnels you already went through earlier on the first minigame. Ugh. But like I said, they aren't that bad, just a little tedious, especially once you focus on first-person aiming for clearing out enemies and realizing that the butt squash move is probably the best move he has for fighting in close combat. Don't bother with the gun and don't bother with his punches. Then there's Sergeant Bird. Yes, he came back. Sadly, his free-flying exploration is gone, his unblinking eyes have gone, his butt crack is gone, and his walking speed is
Not the butt crack.
Even though I used to loathe these parts of the game as a kid, because I mean, he's not how he is in Spyro 3. He's not even using his arms to fly. He's not a real penguin. I actually massively enjoy them nowadays because they are this game's version of the classic PS1 speedways, but with the ability to fire locked-on missiles on the targets from really far away while flying another direction to find and hit something else, and drop bombs at the same time to tackle multiple targets at once in front of you and below you. These are pretty great. I don't mind playing them once and then again with all the targets being rearranged. You are all wrong about this, but I'm insecure about my thoughts and I'd need someone else to agree with me. And luckily, Chadtronic does, don't you?
So I lost my deposit because it said there was too much poop on everything, and then...
Too right. Then you have Sparks being playable again.
These fucking cameos, y'all.
Fit into that crack.
These parts are the worst bit of the game. They suck. They're annoying. You can barely see what's coming to maul you because Sparks' enormous fat ass is always taking up the whole screen. His bullets don't really feel like they hit anything reliably, and there are 0 invincibility frames, meaning if you get stuck in a collapsing ceiling, you can lose all of your health in a matter of 2 seconds. Oh yeah, you also had to play these twice as well, and the second attempt throws more enemies and less power-ups to help you out than the first attempt. You will enjoy it. Do I want to play again for fun? Are you high? Oh yeah, I completely completely forgot to mention Moneybags. Yes, he's back now, and for the first time, I don't mind him here. He sells extremely useful items all over the place for you, like the ability to carry more than one chest key on you at once, double gems for a limited time, an extra shockwave power-up for your head bash, and a variety of handy elemental breath bombs that I used all the time. None of which is an issue to me because gems themselves are not part of completion now, they're currency. And to be honest, I can't be upset with someone that thinks I'm his sugar daddy.
Ah, there you are, my favorite wallet.
He's a communist! And also, I think he's forgotten my name. In terms of presentation, I think the game looks incredible even to this day. The character animations are really impressive, and the soundtrack is one of Spyro's best, no sarcasm. You can't get me to hate this game. Nah, you can't even get me to dislike it, even when it's occasionally really slow and annoying. I have nothing but respect for a game that tells you, ooh, you can't charge on ice, it won't work, naughty, naughty, but it still lets you try it. How sweet is that?
I'm not a fish, I'm a dragon. Oh, a sea dragon. Got it.
Not sea. Chicks. What the fuck?
I always knew.
Uh-oh.
Cancelling. So you've beaten the game, explored all the world, swam around looking very important, and find Red the Dragon, who I still can't work out where his name came from. Like the other bosses in the game, he isn't that hard. In fact, you fight him twice in the game. The first time where you can just melt all of his attacks before they touch you, and the second time where he becomes a Gundam. Don't let that intimidate you though, because when you get his own minions to shoot him back, he just stands there and allows himself to die. And in the ending cutscene, he gets put in a bottle and the game stops. Wow, that's an ending. That is, unless you collect everything and beat the game 100%, which I did. Maybe there'll be another secret hidden level or something. Whatever the bonus is, please be good.
Perhaps we should just turn off the TV for a while. Good idea. Make mine baloney.
What?
I said please! And then we get a credit sequence, which is a totally black screen because I'm playing this on the Xbox 360, which glitches it all out and means you can't even see it. But it's okay. I mean, who needs to see anyway? Sometimes you just gotta go with where the wind takes you and see what surprise. What did you do that for, Andrew Van? What's that, boy?
It's the neighbors. They've had enough.
It's a sequel to A Hero's Tale that came out exclusively on the Nintendo DS and is the final game in the original series continuity to come out. Well, burst my balloon. Come over here and give me a kiss.
Right, so taking a page from the Book of Kingdom Hearts, Spyro decided to make a story-relevant, canonical, official sequel to his console-based platforming series on the Nintendo DS, and nowhere else. But I don't mind. I can handle it. I'm a stud. It is known as Simon Shrinking Legs, and this is the final game to feature Spyro as we've known him up until this point. The end of the classic Spyro continuity. So even though the last portable exclusive was the Cortex conspiracy, where I'm certain that the only conspiracy there was to piss off me, maybe they'll actually go all out with this and end on a high note. Okay, not a bad title screen here. When you look at it like this, at least, but in real life, it looks more like Spyro has a really long, weird neck. Vacation can't last forever,
I was waiting for it.
Even for you. Bitch, I haven't even had one. I've been trying to go on holiday for 7 games now. Oh no. Is this how fast we're going to move? For the whole game? What is this? What is this jump? It's not a jump, it's like you're being vacuumed up to the roof. I can't figure out where the hell I'm landing and I can't get any distance with this. Oh, and what's this? I can't glide? What is this game? Oh, hello there, old. You want me to follow you? No problem. Low, skip to below, low. Watch out, we've got combat now.
Wow.
Did you know this game was made by Amaze Entertainment? Well, now I can see why. It's terrible. But I'm going to calm down and fall asleep for a second. Maybe I'll have a clearer head in the morning. Okay, what is this massive screw-off? What is that thing? What is that? What is it? Ah, get away from me, you eyeball-legged Johnny! When did this game decide to become Siren Blood Curse? Why didn't you warn me?
Not
wait a second,
Siren
Shadow
Blood Curse.
Legacy
Oh
is
my
an
God.
action RPG, which is not a thing I was expecting to say today. You explore the world, fight enemies to
What
gain
else
XP,
did Amaze
use
make? I
magic
have
spells,
no
level
idea.
up, and use the
First
touchscreen to
time I
cast
heard of
spells,
them.
which feels completely tacked on and unnecessary, just like a real DS game. And very similar to how this game moves the main storyline onto the DS for no discernible reason, the gameplay is kind of like Kingdom Hearts as well.
let me
If
see if I
Sora
can
went around
look 'em
headbutting
up.
everything in place and had a bath in glue without a shadow of a legacy. This is the slowest and most boring action RPG I've ever played, and I mean that as literally as I can muster. Enter the Dragonfly was slow, but it was at least trying to be faster. Just imagine for a second what this game would look like if it lagged. Playing this game feels like you're stuck with a sleep paralysis demon. You'll be sludging along with it, minding your own business, and then every so often you'll wake up and realize how slow you're actually going, and then go... Look, I'm just gonna be real for a second. I couldn't stand playing this. I gave it a few hours of my time, but it's just so boring and so uneventful that even if I finished it, I don't think I'd have anything else to add to what I'm saying. So I gave up on it. Here's a condensed version of my playthrough. Wow, I'm charging, and it's still taking a while. Wait, why aren't the rocks breaking immediately when I charge into them? Do you want me to stop moving? You think I'm going too fast?
Holy shit, they made more than a few games, actually.
Yes, this looks completely fine to me. Hang on, what's stopping me from going around this? What's stopping me? You want me to go all the way around
None of
to the
them
other
look what you
side?
would call,
Speed up! Get a move on,
good.
you flew jack! In seconds, you need magic points in order to...
They're all like
still 3 people to save. What do you mean
movie-based
people?
games.
They're dragons! I'm saving dragons! Am I playing Spyro the person? Here is a cameo from Bren Daniel. What? This concludes the cameo from Bren Daniel. You know what? I honestly don't care if the mechanics get better or the story gets better. I am not spending my precious minutes on this earth playing something as slow and as abysmal
Yeah, the movie
as this.
games,
Don't
yeah.
play this
The
game.
curse of the movie games.
You could say I'm being unfair, but
Yeah, it's,
nope, I
it's
don't
like...
even know if I want to play the next
You remember
few
that
games. I
movie
just wanna get in the car
Aragon?
and
They
leave.
did that one. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Why can't I get...
Shrek.
Get out! Get off! Get what?
Another Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pink poo bag on your keys.
X-Men
Pink
Origins.
Poo bag
Jesus.
on your keys.
Oh my
it's
God.
not a bag for pink poo. It's the color of the bag. Use it to pick up your dog poo.
Oh
or
my
use
God.
it to pick up other people's dogs.
Oh,
Pink poo bag
that transition,
on your
though.
keys. Pink poo bag on your keys. You look so cool, you might freeze. Pink poo bag on your keys. Oh no, I've lost my keys. Oh, they're where the poo bag is. Walking the dog. Forget a bag. Put it on your keys. You slag. I'm best friends with my bag. In England,
Aragon
we call
movie
this
is ass.
a word
I
you
never
shouldn't
saw
say.
it.
Pink
I never
poo
wanted to
bag
see
on
it.
your keys. Pink poo bag on your part 4. I've got nothing much else to add here. What do you want
I saw
from
the
me?
trailer
Leave
for
me
it and I went...
alone. In 2006, everyone was
I
sick
saw the
of
trailer
poor
for it
batting
and I-
average of cheeky platforming kiddie Spyro, so then they hit the reset button and started a brand new trilogy known as The Legend of Spyro, starting off with the appropriately titled
And also
A
ruin the
New
potential to make a
Beginning,
sequel.
or as
That
is more
sucks. I
commonly
hate when
known,
they
The Legend
fuck
of
up when it's
Simon,
based off like a book
Nice
and the book is
Bailiff.
like
This was made
really
by Chrome
good.
Studios this time, and I have never played this game before.
But
so
then
you
they
want to
just
know what I think?
fuck it up,
So it stinks.
adapting
See you later.
it.
I'm gonna enter the Dragonfly. So now we're not a baby game
At least when it
anymore.
comes
We're
to
going
basing
darker and
games off
way
of a
more
movie,
serious.
everyone
I mean,
expect
it works
it-
so well with a
expect it
3-foot
to be
hedgehog. Why
shit.
can't it work with a bright purple 3-foot dragon? We're dealing with the origins of Spyro, from his egg hatching to learning the truth about his past. And there's an innocent dragon cursed by a dark master, but we don't realize that until we need to
We're
kill
here.
her.
Is this
and
the
all
one,
sorts is
Yumi?
going
Are
on.
we
We aren't in a
finally
cartoon
here?
anymore, sunshine. We're now in Lord of the Rings. And so who better to get involved in this game than with the Lord of the Ring himself, Elijah Wood, providing
Oh
the
my
voice
God.
of Simon for the very first time, alongside the voice of Gary Oldman. And I will say this right now, Elijah gives us the
One
best
or
delivery
two
of
more
the
games till you're fit? Oh, okay.
cliche I think I've ever seen. Oh, and who wants to see the newest Sparks?
I guess one of the villains that are a big part of the second book. Yeah.
Right, so we've gone from
That
a
sounds like a
collectathon
big screw
platformer
up.
to side-scrolling minigamer to action RPG. So logically, we've made the next step to an action-adventure beat-em-up. But now Sparks
My
looks
God,
like a
there's so many
DreamWorks
Spyro
and
games that I
Spyro
had
looks like a
no
drunk. And I
idea.
will say right now, I don't hate this game. but I don't like it that much either.
Yeah? Well, I don't like you either.
Super Butterbuds!
I'm not joking, man. I'm calling the FBI. Leave me alone. I'm busy.
No need.
Super Butterbuds! Oh my god, I love her!
I promise all of you I'm going into this with as open of a mind as I
Super
can.
Butterbuds,
but
y'all.
I don't know, guys. The basics
We
are here
love-
and they're playable, but there's so many catches
We
and
love
snags I
that
can't get around.
slice of
Stuff like
bread.
the upgrade points not having any on-screen indication how much you have, so you have to keep pausing and looking
We
in the
love
upgrade menu
that
to check
buttered
yourself.
bread.
I find that the moves are way too slow to come out for how fast the enemies move around you. If you're stuck and surrounded in a group, there's no way to quickly dodge out of it. And yeah, you can dodge with this weirdly sluggish strafing move, but you aren't going to dash away to safety anytime soon by doing this. Not to mention there's no lock-on, so you can't even choose what target to swap around while you do the strafing. And no matter what you do, you will eventually be overwhelmed by enemies
Finally, a
called
cameo
Fisty
I actually
Green Thief.
recognize,
Not that
though.
it's a big deal, though, because
I actually
if you
know
die,
them.
nothing happens. You just carry on from a few seconds ago.
Oh, you gotta
Okay,
check 'em
then.
out,
Honestly,
Yuko.
I just prefer spamming firebombs. It's easily the most effective and powerful attack to deal with all
They're-
the groups, and it can
she's
also
so
make the
fucking
game
funny.
look like spreaded mustard. You can double jump and you can glide, which I do appreciate, but there's barely any real point to it. You're still majorly railroaded from samey combat encounter to samey combat encounter without really being able to explore anything. Secrets aren't really a thing anymore either. The focus here is definitely the combat, but the issue is this ain't no Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. It's stupidly basic. Even the different elemental breath attacks don't change the fact that you're still pressing variations of the same 3 buttons without much else going on. And I know a ton of people wanted me to go in depth here and were really hyped to see what I thought about a nearly 20-year-old reboot about a lizard, but here's the
Do
thing.
all YouTubers
I
know
can
each
fill
other?
the video with empty fluff and just talk your ears off, lying about how much I can talk about if you want me to, or I can be honest. And honestly, this isn't doing
I think
it
if
for
you
me.
make
It's just
like
too
similar
bland. I've got
types of
nothing to
videos,
say about
sometimes you
it.
just
It's not
kind
as
of
awful as everyone around me at the time made me think, but it
end up
is a little
naturally
bit... Now I don't
talking
mind
to
the new
each other.
direction here at all,
I don't
but
know.
my issue with it is that
I wouldn't know.
it's not done that well to
I'm not
begin
in-
with, and I
I'm
can
not
be playing
in the
any
cool
other hack
clip.
and slash or beat 'em up that's already better out the gate, and B, it's still Spyro. This isn't what I wanted
I've
to
only
play a Spyro
recognized
game
Super
for.
Butterbuds, so
It'd be like if
you're
you made
one ahead of
Crash
me.
Bandicoot, the star of 7 Sins. And look,
Oh
here,
yeah,
you can
very
throw all
true,
of these pretty
Yuko.
storybook cutscenes
I don't
at me,
think
but
of
at
that
the end of the
because
day, it's still a kid's game about a purple dragon. It's not that
the
deep.
idea of that
Kinda
scares
like the
me.
combat. Plus, in nearly every scene, Spyro is always like, "Oh my gosh, what's that?"
Like
Sparks is
going out
always
on
like, "Hey,
purpose to
what's
go
the
talk
deal
to
with airline
strangers.
food?" And everyone else around him is always
Horrifying.
like, "Spyro, you must seek the strength of your courage with the passion of wisdom, so the darkness can be defeated by the honesty of your loyalty." to Shut up, you old hog stick. Like £1,000,000, and I'm out here with my pals. I've got 1,000,000 subs, so I've got £1,000,000.
Oh my god.
Feeling like a millie, feel like a millie. I want a millie, I have 1,000,000 shoes, and me and my... Oh, great. I didn't love a game that had dark epic fantasy overtones in it, and now I've woken up the legendary warrior, Vinegar. It'll take him at least
Vinegar.
a week to get to me, so I better look at the sequel to this as quick as I can. 1 year later, in 2007, Chrome were brought back on to
Get to
continue
see
the
your
story
favorite
in the
Spyro
Legend
character
of Simon,
soon?
the Empty Niece. And it follows
The
on
Empty
directly
Niece.
from the
Oh
last game,
my god,
but not
no.
bad guy possessed by the real bad guy, Cinder, gets saved
Controversial.
from Simon. So he
Controversial
takes her home,
title
she
right there.
leaves one day, and Spyro dies. Oh wait, no
Well.
he didn't. Now you've got to go and save the world from the moon. No time to lose. Hit the road, Jack.
Well,
Spyro the Eternal Night
the
is
neighbors,
nearly
they're all gone.
exactly the same
Like,
as before, so automatically I know I'm not going to
He's the
love
only
it, but
one
there
living
are
on
a
that
few
street
neat
now.
little additions here. There's added slow-mo to take down animations, there's more areas to explore for upgrade material, which is very welcome, there's way more jumping and gliding sections to break up the combat, the elemental breaths actually provide you
There
with
she
different
is.
kinds of
Uh-oh.
attacks rather than just different colored variations of the same basic attack, and this final blast move looked cool before, but now it can rip through the fabric of reality and turn Spyro inside out. On paper, I should really get
Blood
along with
handprints
this
everywhere.
game,
Yeah, it looks like
even though I
it's like
still
half
don't
the
like how
neighborhood
Sparks
looks like a
mask, and Spyro somehow
it
looks
looks like
even
a
more
crime
oblivious
scene.
than
The other
before.
half is just like
Your place is
discarded,
here.
broken
Your
glass
destiny is
and
here.
costumes.
But is it just me, or is this game way harder? like annoyingly harder. I don't know. What do you think, Elijah Wood?
It's dangerous for her to be outside the temple at night.
Oh, yeah, all right. I see where you're coming from. I understand your opinion.
I don't know if I'm just exhausted after playing through 12 games up to this point, but I found Eternal Night to be so much harder than A New Beginning, and not in a good way. It was harder than arranging a funeral on WhatsApp. The starting enemies from the beginning of the game do not let up. Everything attacks you relentlessly, and your health drains like a drain. Especially when you get stun locked into a group encounter.
Not draining like a drain.
Spam attacks until you're out for the count. This happens way too frequently. You still attack slower
Alright, so
than the enemies
Cinder's
do,
your
but now the
favorite,
lack of
Yummy.
being able to cancel out of a combo or dodge roll to get the hell out of there makes that so much more apparent. And hey, look, they brought back one of my favorite parts of the first GBA game, Season of Ice. Off-screen dogpiling. Yeah, remember that? Isn't it fun? I think the devs knew how much harder this game was than the first, and that's why they put
love
way
a
more
dog
health and
pile.
breath power crystals around the place to help alleviate the beatings, but the issue is the lack of mobility. If you get into a bad spot during a fight, you will not be able to move over to these crystals fast enough before it's game over again. I found myself doing so many pot shots and running away just to survive. And yeah, the ice breath here is much more useful than the first game and does make crowd control a bit more manageable, but it's too little too late, man. I just can't be bothered to see what else the game has to offer me after such an awful first impression. And that's exactly how I felt when I first saw Elvis the Alien, wasn't it?
Tell me again, what's your favorite Spyro game?
I know this one. Okay.
What?
You disgust me. And listen here, all right. I love
I've
a long
recognized
cutscene.
two
I'm a
now out of
rock-solid
the
hard man.
500
Give
that
me
have shown up.
uninterrupted dialogue and dramatic pauses all over the place. I can handle it. But we're dealing with a story that isn't deep or interesting enough to justify how many cutscenes are piled on here. Sometimes back to back. It's like if someone sat you down and showed you a lore video about Barney. Ooh, what's that?
Oh,
We
God.
can slow down the game at will? Gee, that's neato. I always wanted to turn a Spyro game into Enter the Dragonfly on command. And before you ask, no, slowing the game down doesn't help with large, brutal group encounters that much. And even if it did, the game doesn't slow down around you, you slow down as well. So you're either choosing unfun, unforgiving alleyway mugging or Shadow Legacy on purpose, because I just couldn't wait to go that slow again. I have never wanted to stop playing a game as quick as this before in my life. And it's really annoying because I was really enjoying all the good changes, but the rest of it...
Where's the 20-hour
I
video
don't feel like cheese
for
grating off
Barney
my
lore?
fingers for fun. I already do that.
Let's go.
See, Sparks has already had enough. He's gone. And with no Sparks, that means no more games. So finally, I can do the show that I've always wanted to do. Roll it. It's the Dead Bird of the Week.
Not that.
It's the Dead Bird of the Week. There's one more, you inbred.
It's Vinegar.
Vinegar.
Sorry, I subbed to fuck that. Go to fuck land on YouTube. Oh my god.
Okay, guys, we're nearly there, I promise. Dawn of the Dragon on the Xbox 360, also known as Simon Door of the Door. And I guess
Door
Chrome
of the
Studios
Door.
weren't trusted anymore after the reception of the last two games, so for the final game of the trilogy, and indeed the final game in the whole Spyro timeline, Sierra Entertainment hired a new company to make this one called Air. Time to pop this mother in and bake
I
it a
didn't
Gus
even
Mark
try.
10. Oh,
Same.
God, oh me, oh my, I've got to make another video about these things, haven't I? Okay, here
Oh,
we are,
fuck's
Xbox
sake.
360 dashboard. Haven't looked around it for a while, but yes. The story of this game is that Spyro and Cinder are trapped in a piss rock, and it's time to let them out.
Speaking
but not
of
really,
Xbox
because we're also
360s.
going to trap you again. Why did you let them out? Okay, so right out of the gate, the
Speaking
game
of the,
looks and runs
still have
amazingly,
mine?
actually. Is that a dodge roll? Oh shit, son, it's a dodge roll. And what's this? Way more
My
crowd
first
control
Xbox
attacks and
360
area
got the
attacks to
Red Ring
clear
of
out
Death.
enemies.
I
You can
remember that.
grab
It was a
enemies
sad
now for
day.
extra combo potential. Holy shit, is Spyro eating that guy? Spyro can fly. Fly? What? Yes, Spyro can fly. Gusts of wind to stop you from flying everywhere you want? Yes! Yes! Quick time events? Hey! Well, you know how... Oh my god, is that Hunter? Hunter! Hunter is back! Oh no! He doesn't look, sound, or feel even vaguely like the same Hunter from the last games, but I don't care. That somehow makes the game good. Why didn't you tell me about this, Salty DK Dan?
What?
Yeah, I thought so, bastard! What's this? A vat of extra platforming challenges based around gliding and climbing to reward you with hidden upgrade materials all over the place? Character switching
That's
for
weird,
entirely
Yomi.
new elemental breath attacks that can be used for combat and way more puzzles to solve? And it was then that Caddy realized that this whole time he had a diabetic coma. Wow,
What?
this game is... What are you doing, Dawn of the Dragon?
Not the diabetic coma.
Like you? No, in fact, I really like you. I can't believe I'm saying this, and I'm sad it's taken until the third game of the reboot trilogy for me to say, but this is legitimately an extremely good game. It's got the balance between explorative collecting that Spyro is best known for, and the combat that the Legend series is best known for, and merges them seamlessly while improving the combat of the Legend series. It really helps how there's like a million new moves to play with instead of the same handful of combos we had before. There's ground combat, aerial combat, grabbing combat, and the breath combat is tons better. You've got fire, ice, electricity, and earth all unlocked from the start and do even more different things than they've ever done before. Some are great for group damage, some are great for dispersing crowds, some are great for stuns, and some are great for continuous gradual damage. And with Cinder now being playable, you can switch to her whenever you want and pick her elemental breaths: poison, fear, shadow, and wind. Too many beans. In combat, you still don't have a lock-on feature, but it doesn't matter because not only do you have a
So
dodge
freaking
roll to
playing
better
100%
position
this game
yourself to
called
avoid
yeah.
damage quickly, finally. but most
I
of the
can't
time, the
remember
camera ends
any
up
of
being
these
locked onto a
Spyro games except
scenario
for
and
like
pulled back like a
the first
PS2
couple.
God of War game, allowing you to
And
see
I'm not
the
even
whole
sure I've played
battlefield,
any of them
making
except for
off-screen threats
one.
no issue at all, and when the camera control is given back to you, my humps. Look at this. There are multiple large, sprawling open worlds with tons of
Never used
secrets and
Spyro unless
optional
it
routes to
forced you
explore,
to.
with gorgeous
Nice,
music
Yomi.
in the background.
I think they should have made
whatever,
Cinder
the
a
game
different
slows
color.
down in bigger areas, but it's a small price to pay for what is the most liberating and unironically magical Spyro game so far. This is so good, dude. It took another 4 games for me to get to this point, but I'm so happy to play another Spyro game that makes me go... I'm still gonna prefer the collectathon stuff. That's just what Spyro does best, if you ask me. But if you want to shoehorn him into these trendy, edgy bar fights, this is how you do
They
it.
didn't
Can
really
you believe
advertise
it?
this
Up is
one
not
much.
jump.
I've never played Spyro. I don't know why I'm in this video.
Another one I recognize.
This is cool, yeah.
Well, I couldn't believe it, so shove off. This game, man.
Another
after
one I
all the toss
recognize.
that we've tossed through,
Finally.
this actually warms my heart. Am I dead?
This is the best, okay?
Hi.
I'm not arguing with you. Okay? I'm not arguing.
Yeah. How are you
Okay.
doing, Long? Well, you know, I'm just being Long.
But yeah.
Can you get out?
But before I go, it's time to play. In one hand, I have another game for you, and in the other, I have the Wetty Betty.
I don't want to play. Can you please just give me the...
Here we go.
Stop being Long for 1 second and please just give me the...
Oh no, you're out of time. Get ready for the Wetty Betty.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Why?
Well done for being such a good sport. Have a bottle.
God,
and here
God
is your
damn it.
prize.
All this fucking broken glass everywhere.
Skylanders. Long Dennis, I never want to see you ever again.
Here it is, this fucking Skylanders.
Oh!
Yeah, I know. For most normies,
Okay,
Spy-
as I was gonna say before, I was rudely interrupted by whatever the fuck that long arm shit was. I think the reason they probably didn't advertise the latest one we just watched, the one that Yomi said was a favorite, it didn't like playing as Spyro, ironically. I think the reason they probably didn't advertise that one so well is because they already knew that Spyro had already kind of like the ship has already kind of sunk. It's like halfway sunk already. So they're just kind of we'll make one, but we're not going to really advertise it cuz we don't want another dud.
Spyro ended as a series in 2008 with Dawn of the Dragon. But no, mate, if you want to call your game Spyro's Adventure, you're damn sure gonna make it into a video about Spyro games. Released in 2011, the first Skylanders game was, at least originally, yet another Spyro reboot for a younger crowd. And the best way to go about that is by turning the adorable little boy into a vampire French bulldog. If we were fighting together in a war against the same enemy, I would shoot you first. If you don't know
Hate
what
this Spyro
Skylanders
Design.
is,
He's so
well, I actually
ugly.
already looked at one
That's
in
a
an
very
older
nice
video
way of
and
saying it.
explained what the game is.
That's
So
a
do you know what I'm
polite
going to
way.
do now? I'm going to put the clip of me talking about it right here because I've been going on for 2 hours. Can you please let me have this?
Skylanders is a series of
Spyro
simple
costume.
3D beat-em-up platforming games in the Spyro mythos, except that it requires the use of a USB portal device in order for you to place different figures onto the portal and have them pop up in the game. Different figures have different abilities to get by different obstacles and unlock different secrets.
Thank you for explaining that, me. It was very hot. Now, the copy of Skylanders I found on eBay was brilliant. Want to know why? Because it came with a giant box of figures that I didn't want. Look at these, like, what am I supposed to do with all of these? Well, I guess we can at least look at them. Who is starring in the final original release of a game with Spyro still in the title? Well, we've got Spyro, Sparks, Cinder, Fire, Spyro, Thomas the Tank Engine, Fish, Fish, Steve Irwin, Spyro, Boat, and Shoe. Truth be told, I actually think all of
Those
these
are the
little guys
official
are pretty cool,
canon
but I'm not here to
names.
be nice. Let's play the game.
I am Eon, your guide in this world.
Those are amiibos before this
Where
go.
are you may ask?
Oh god.
That is a very good question. This is Eon and this is
Nightmare
Chaos.
inducing.
Eon is good, Chaos is bad. And Chaos also sounds like he's taking one giant breath in while holding his nose.
Long have I waited for this day to take my revenge.
Right then, level 1. Let's see what's Oh, wait a second. I think my controller's broken. I can flame and I can charge, but I can't jump. And you know what? Actually, no. Maybe it's just because this is the tutorial. This is a kid's game after all. The jumping might come later. Wait, so let me get this right. We've gone from gliding and hovering to no gliding to no jumping. Yeah, all right, bye.
Well.
No. Bad boy. You know what? It would be so nice of you to use your giant wings to get over this tiny little hop, but no, I've got to go all the way around here and walk into this bouncy drain cover instead. I mean, shitting hell, you don't even charge for longer than a couple of seconds before getting tired. What's this? An achievement? Happy hour? I'm way ahead of you.
As I said, you put that
Oh
in
no,
my
we're back here.
pie hole and I'll have a wolf.
We're not done with the public
I'm starting to
indecency.
get sick to my guts with how slow Spyro likes to go in a lot of his games. Even if you wear a speedy propeller cap, it doesn't seem to make Spyro or any of his new bastard friends run any faster. And mixing that in with no jumping makes this not even slightly fun for me. Then as you go on through the game, there'll be side areas only unlockable from friends of a certain class, which I don't mind, but more often than not, it will randomly pop up and tell you that, oops, you're weak all of a sudden, time for you to swap out to wet Spyro, otherwise you'll take much longer than necessary to kill enemies that aren't weak to the class the game tells you to swap to for absolutely no reason. It's not really a video game and more like a sit-up regime. We gotta get those tubby kids their exercise sitting down playing games all day. So why don't we give them muscly thumbs and a six-pack? Oh, and this dude here is called Gil.
Gotta get them crunches in.
Hey, look, it's Gil.
What?
The Gil section is over. Something that I didn't realize until now is that these figures actually save data. Yeah, they're not just a controller input, they're memory cards that keep data in their feet. So then, in one area, after swapping to someone with the correct class that I needed to, I ended up with someone born in 1947 that was level 10
no.
and had a small business loan. in the
Boomer.
back. That just comes with getting these figures pre-owned, I guess. Sure, I could reset them from the menu, but that means I'll go back to having like 2 attacks and not jumping anywhere and running slowly. So can you get off my dick? These cutscenes are really long, and I don't know why you can't skip them, because as we all know, Fortnite children love watching long videos in the middle of playing their games. I don't want to watch any of this. I want to get to the next level of doing nothing but running around and hitting 2 buttons.
Wait, you're a Skylander, aren't you?
Yes. And you're a golf club, aren't you?
Not the golf club shape.
Able to rescue Callie. Hey, Ben, remember the time we saw Spyro the Dragon? And I was a furry!
I know what you're thinking. Surely this isn't all you do in the main game, is it? Yeah, it is. You run around, spam attacks, and don't jump anywhere. What do you do in the optional challenges? Run around, spam attacks, and don't jump anywhere. Oh, wow, look at this incredible new land to explore. What am I going to get to do in it? Run around, spam attacks, and don't jump anywhere. And I'm sorry, I am still in shock over the fact that Spyro can't jump.
Yeah, that's
Spyro,
that's
the
so
winged
stupid. I'm sorry.
beast, can't get over this tiny gap.
A
So how does he
flying
get over the
dragon
gap? He assaults a
can't
tortoise
jump
and shoves it into
or
the
glide.
gap to
walk on top of it. That's how Spyro gets over a gap. I'm playing a game called Skylanders where you are unable to ascend towards it. Here's a tower I've got to smash. Don't you like smashing? Smashing is fun, right? Well, here's how you smash in Skylanders. Up to the gills!
Oh god, this will get annoying so quick. So quick.
Even when you get to something completely different, like a turret section. In A Hero's Tale, the turret sections were frantic, extremely fast, challenging, and honestly, I kind of enjoyed them. But here, you...
Wow.
Please understand, I am not looking for much. Like Gandhi at a Christmas buffet. I don't need to own the world to be happy.
Those kids fall
But
out
I
a few of these
physically
fuckers.
am unable
True.
to understand the appeal of a game like this, aside from the figures to collect, which you can do anyway without playing the damn game. And it's also great to play the game and then get constantly advertised to about the other figures I can get. Hey, thanks for buying our game, kids, but your parents didn't get you enough. Without the figures, what is this? It isn't really anything, and it definitely isn't Spyro. It's
The turret
transparently
section
obvious that the
Jack Green
subtitle
Nightmares.
Spyro's Adventure was
Uh-oh.
slapped on to sell a brand new IP nobody would care about if he wasn't on it. Parade his corpse over the front of the box to pretend it's his game. But hey, don't go too far. We won't have him talk at any point in the game or make a story about him or have any of the characters address him by his name. You know, the name that's on the front of the box. Nobody will notice. Well, you know what, Activision? I noticed. People like to not count this as a Spyro game, but if you're gonna spit his name on the box and claim it's his adventure, then I'm gonna treat it like one. And to be quite blunt, I've booked too many cameos for this video and I don't know how to fit them in. Isn't that right, Blueberry, Dana Rage, Digiman, Vegeta, The Next Level, Game Apologist, Guru, Larry, John Riggs, LS Mark, Matt McMuscles, Nitro Rad, Re-Res, Tennings, Trav Guy, Shafrala, Scarfulu, Uncle Silver, and Wayne as boss.
What the fuck?
And don't even get me started on Elise. She threatened me with a carving knife if I didn't put her in this video, so there you go. What? Please leave my family alone. Ah, look!
What
I found
the
an
fuck?
anvil.
That was a
I
lot
put
of
it on his
cameos
head.
all at once.
Perfect. I fixed his ugly. Whoa, what's this? I can upgrade now and unlock
No, your
more
parents will never get you a
abilities?
bunch of them.
I
You
can
have
give
bad for you go
Spyro
cards?
flight.
Oh, damn.
Yes, thank you, Christ. Now we can still not go anywhere. Yeah!
What? What the fuck?
Oh, what's that? The game froze. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, and the game is recyclable?
Gee, that's good.
Honestly?
I did it.
Honestly, same.
I saved the trees.
So that's it.
Save the trees.
10 years later, after I said that I would do it, I finally made a video about all of Spyro's main games. Happy million subs. Out of the 14 games I played for this video, sadly, I ended up only liking/loving 6 of them. Less than half. But does that make Spyro a bad franchise as a whole? Not at all, because I think that the good stuff is so
what about the
good
next
it
Skylanders
vastly
series?
overshadows the bad. He is a dragon of quality, not necessarily quantity. And to be fair, it does take a lot for something to make me... And you know, there's definitely still a market for Spyro to come back. I mean, we all saw how great the Reignited trilogy was, for the most part, so I'm not against giving him another shot. I mean, Christ, if Cash Banuka can get an official, proper 4th game 20 years after the 3rd one, why can't Spyro?
And yeah, that's exactly why I think Caddicarus would be a really good addition to Pokemon.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Actually, yeah, I could. I don't think it would harm Simon by giving him a proper 4. That isn't this. But for now, the only question I want an answer to is, what do I do with these?
Well...
Well...
Bonjour, everyone. It's me, the chef, Sandwich. The Pooh Cookbook.
Oh god, fuck's sake.
Very disappointing. 2 stars. No shit in it. But today I also have a new recipe to try. Skylanders sausage. The first step is that you want to put the heat on as high as possible, and then you get the vegetable oil and soup.
Oh my god.
Well, while they're waiting for everything to start cooking
This
properly,
is-
you can also take your portal and you can put it on the stove like that, and then you turn it over every so often and until it's brown on both sides. Once you start seeing all of the people's faces coming off like that, you know you're on the right
This-
track. Oh,
Yeah, this might not end well.
steamroller. Oh, the faces will start peeling off, and then
Yeah.
the wings will actually become flappy. Oh, this is the most important part of the recipe, when you have to get the delicacy of the shark properly cooked, because I caught that from the water. Oh! I'd say that's a marked improvement then.
Improvement. Yeah, it looks better.
Slate, you know, we can just put a new
Deserves
face on
better.
him now. Now it's starting to smoke. That means that we're really getting going now. So as you can see, like, his arm came off and attached itself to his other arm. Easy peasy, the fumes make me wheezy.
Yeah, the
face has come
fumes
off.
be
Hello,
fuming right
feet.
now.
Hello, lady.
I feel like I'm watching like a disaster TikTok video in the making.
Bronzing. Look at that. He looks like some sort of special gold you find in the mine. I'm very happy with how this is all going so far, but I mean, God, don't do this. I'm crying. Don't do this.
90% sure this is poison. Yeah.
I can't actually handle the smell anymore. I'm feeling sleepy.
Yeah,
and
your
my
windows need to be
mouth
open. You need to.
tastes of coins.
You need to have a gas mask on.
Aha! Bonjour, everyone! It's me, the sous chef, Pizza!
We have to cool it down with the water, and then eventually, after it's swum around in its nice little pond scum, we have to pick the best pieces to put in the sausage. And sadly, all of these pieces here, even though it's very high quality meat, it's all kind of congealed together, and we can't fit that in a sausage. So I'll probably serve that up with some onions and mushrooms and have a nice steak. But we can at least put Spyro and
Oh yeah, the limited edition Halo
in
Xbox.
there. Now,
That's,
we have to do the
that's
most
fucked
important
up,
bit. We have to
Phoenix.
get our sausage
Fucked
legs
up.
out. Just like
I
here.
wanted that shit.
Luckily, they come individually wrapped for your convenience. We'll go, and then we
Convenient.
unravel it. Look at that perfect little sausage skin.
Oh my
Simon
God.
is there. Yes, and I'll also put
Safety
in
first.
The lady's feet. I'll put that in there as well. There you go. We have Skylanders sausage. Ribbed for her pleasure.
Sausage.
Ribbed for her pleasure.
Oh my God. It's just. It's. Okay. Okay.
What?
Bye bye. Fucking hell. That was an adventure and a half. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. We made it, guys. We made it. Controller was ruined because brother and his dumbass friend chewed the wires.
Stanley.
Shocker.
Unexpected item in bagging area.
Oh my God.
Oh, we really didn't like that.
Nope. He said, nope, I'm not dealing with that shit. Oh my God. I had no idea there was so many Spyro games, guys. Like, I legit only remember the first couple. Like, oh, wow. Jesus Christ. That... there are no words.